Hello friends, and welcome. My name's Popeye. Today we're playing some Steins Gate Zero. Before we get into it, this game has a lot of mature themes. I want to go over them. If any of these things makes you feel uncomfortable, please find some place that is more comfortable for you this evening. This game includes themes of rape, torture, murder, kidnapping, death, dismemberment, blood, gore, rape, any of those things against a minor. Once again, if any of those things makes you feel uncomfortable, please find some place that is more comfortable for you this evening. If you missed any of the ones I said and want to take a look, down in the description below, there is a list of all of those, if you want to check those over. Yeah, what did we do last time? Last time, I swear we spent half the game Asuzaha being sick and just talking about food and computer parts with chat. And then we shifted over to Okabe, who was meeting with Daru, who is apparently trying to track down Kagari and crack the encryption on Christina's hard drive, which they made. So he asked us to try and come up with anything that might help them crack the password. And now it's Christmas Eve, so we're gonna go through the Christmas party again. Remembering last time we did this, I think the Christmas party fell through and we had the New Year's Eve party, and that led to the people breaking in and trying to kidnap Kagari. So yeah, I guess we'll see what kind of party we have this time. So yeah, we got a phone call from Mayuri, who's all decked out in her Christmas gear, and let's hear what she has to say. Mayuri, it's been a long time preparing for this day. Probably really looking forward to it.
行くよ。6時からだろ。
今大学？
I don't have enough fingers to scold you on an accurate finger to month ratio. I have toes, Deadbeard. Give me a second. How do I hold up? Okay, I'm gonna hold up 5 toes, and what are you at? You're at 14 and 9 fingers. Take that, scold! I have toes, Deadbeard. Give me a I hope that scold was worthy. I knew it was coming. I was looking at, I was curious how the Twitch, I don't know what they're calling it, the feature where they'll like bump up your earnings if you're under, and I saw that someone had subbed yesterday. I'm like, okay, I only know of like 2 people who have auto sub on, so I know it's coming. Thank you for the scold, Samus. The scold sutra.
いや、和光市。知り合いの教授の研究室みたいなところにお邪魔してる。
和光市。
Man, I want to know what else is in the Skolda Sutra now. She had no idea where Wako City was, did she? How do you not know, like, where parts of your city are?
間に合う？
大丈夫だ。
よかった。待ってるね。
Her voice got fainter on the phone for a second. I heard the other girls. Also, how is Mayuri holding her phone? We see both her hands. Is this... Did people used to just stream video calls? Is that how it worked? You're like, I want to call Samus's. I'm just going to stream for like 5 minutes so he can see me, and now I have hands. She has toes. I have to try this now. Okay, here's my phone. Here's my foot. Oh, it's gonna be off camera. We gotta try this. Gosh dang it, you're right. Myth busted.
オカリンさん、女子全員でサンタコスして待ってます。待ってるにゃ。待ってます。ほら、ルカ君も。僕は女子じゃ。
I don't think that's gonna stop them, Lukako.
ルカ君もコスプレしてるんですよ。すみません。脱ぎます。今すぐ脱ぎます。あら、もったいない。すごく似合ってるのに。
盛り上がってるな。
今絶賛準備中なのです。マユシーなんか超ミニスカのサンタさんでめちゃくちゃキュートなんですよ。ちなみにパンツの色はピンクでしたぜ。
This is the kind of stuff I expect from Daru.
うぶきちゃん何言ってるの。
No.
ごめんね、変な話して。とにかく待ってる
Can I have like one stream where we don't think we might see someone naked or talk about their underwear? Like, is that too much to ask?
ああ、
それじゃあまた後でね。
Sounded like the party had already begun at the lab. All those girls there, I'm sure they're having a good time. Luca, you're the only guy. Hang in there. I chuckled and put away the... No, I didn't. The phone's still out here. You can't make me put it away. Oh, that's cool. I can dim the screen. It's an interesting feature.
ずいぶん賑やかだったわね。
Nope, still on my phone. It was Maho who spoke to me. Actually, only Maho and I were in the room.
今日
And my
友達と
phone.
クリスマスパーティーをやる予定なんだ。
Yeah, so all it is it changes when you select one of the icons, but I found that you can toggle out, so I'm gonna stop that just in case someone doesn't like the flashing lights, but
ああ、そういえばもうそんな時期なのね。
this game does surprise me when sometimes they're like, 2 days ago I sent a text message. I'm like, no you didn't, and then about 50% of the time I would say I open my text messages and I'm like, oh, they actually programmed the text message conversation in. Then the other half of the time there's just nothing. Also, I want to know, like, his text messages disappear after like 1 day. I've got text messages from like 5 years ago on my phone.
君はそういうのには無頓着そうだな。
こっちに来てからは特にね。普段はいつもここにいるし、最近会う人といえば警察の人ばかりだし。
No, there's always two kinds of people in the world. There's the people who you have to have 0 messages, and then there's the people who open up their email and there's 3,458 unread messages. I'm the former. If someone sends me an email or a text message or like a Discord message, I read it, like assuming I'm, not like on an airplane or like in the woods somewhere where I don't have reception, I will read it within 12 hours. If you log in, you need to clear your email so you don't log in. Yes. I tried to force a laugh at Maho's joke and looked around the room. It was dead silent. Exact opposite of the noisy lab I just heard on the other side of the phone, in fact. Nothing had changed since the first time I'd come, which meant this was still only Maho and Dr. Luskin that were working here. And the professor had been meeting with different researchers all the time since he'd come to Japan. He wasn't spending much time in the lab. That mean Maho was spending most of her time cooped up here alone? Well, it's normal for a scientist, I guess, but...
よかったら、ヒアジョさんも参加するか?
After what happened, she probably needed a chance to blow off some steam.
私？気を使わなくていいわ。
Is no one going to talk about the part where a deranged maniac chased us in a parking garage with a car and a machine gun? No one? Okay, cool.
そんなものか。
Krisu had said similar things. Krisu, huh?
それより本題に入りましょう。
That's right. I hadn't come all the way to Maho's lab to make small talk.
クリスに謝りたいと。
Fast tense, let it go. I mean, I guess the guy did get shot and died, so he's not a threat anymore, but we never found out who shot him.
ああ。
そのために私のところに来たと。
So what did you do, Christmas Eve? Oh, I just went and apologized to an AI computer.
そうだ。
This game is future tense. This game is hard. I mean, at one point in the game, we were a man from 25 years in the future who had the consciousness of someone from 25 years in the past, who then used a time machine to make 3,000 sequential jumps to go back to the time when his brain was dated and his body regressed with him because time travel. That's probably the most complicated thing we've done in this game so far.
なぜ？
一人じゃ話しづらいんだ。
それで私に仲裁をしてほしいと。
そういうことになる。
変な人ね、あなた。
Maho's reaction surprised me. Who doesn't need a wingman to talk to their computer? Yeah, but not with your toes. Was I that weird?
最後に話したときに、俺が動揺しすぎたのが悪いんだが、かなり強引に話を打ち切ってしまったんだ。
Do I want to know what kind of toe dexterity you've been seeing, Deadbeard?
クリスの性格を考えると、確実に怒ってる。中途半端につながっている分、見えないプレッシャーで四六時中ビクビクしている身にもなってくれ。
Dr. Lesson had been trying to help me out, but I would have felt better if he just stripped me of access. I'm glad you finished with of your access. Deadbeard, I literally thought to myself, oh no, what if there's someone toe related that he's gonna give to some too? It bothers me that I can't open this app. Stop looking.
喧嘩別れみたいなことにもなりたくないんだ。
I never wanted to go through what I'd experienced in the Alpha World line again. That world line, I'd never been able to figure out what she was trying to tell me at the end.
まあいいわ。仲裁でも何でもするから、要件を済ませてしまいなさいよ。
助かるよ。
せっかくのクリスマスイブなんだから、少しは気の利いたことを言ってあげたらどう？
So why not say something nice? Do I get an option on this?
そうだな。
Do AIs care that it's Christmas Eve? Not that I had any idea what nice would be.
どうしたの？早くアクセスして。アプリのアイコンをタップするだけで。
Oh, now I can use the app, huh? Oh, I can't put my phone away and hang up on her. Gosh dang it. I can just show her surprised face. And the fact that I'm holding my phone like this, but with my toes.
さかまた連絡してくるなんて、は何よ、何なの。
Oh, she totally wasn't expecting that.
いや、
どうも、岡部倫太郎さん。私に何か用でも？もう話したくないんじゃなかった？
いや、その
Mize glanced towards Maho for help.
クリス、彼から話があるから少しだけ聞いてあげて。別に聞かないとは言ってませんよ。岡部さんは私とはもう会話を交わしたくないはずではと事実確認をしただけです。
Wah, she was mad. I knew it.
ほら、早くしなさいよ。
No, let me hang up the phone.
あ、
I took a single deep breath and lifted up the phone with my toes. Aw, way to ruin it, game. Unless he has feet for hands. Did we just confirm he has feet for hands and that those are actually toes and not fingers? That would be weird. I bowed my head.
俺なんかに付き合ってくれていたのに、お前のその親切を裏切るような形になってしまった。それにこの前、最後に話した時、急に会話を打ち切ってしまったのも失礼だったと思ってる。昔あった個人的なことを思い出して混乱してしまったんだ。でもそれはお前には関係ないことだよな。
That's a big fat lie.
テスターを辞めさせてもらう前にせめて一言だけ謝りたかった。以上だ。
Chris was chuckling the same way Maho had just done.
本気で言ってるの？
なんだよ。こっちが真面目に謝っているのに笑うなんて。
だって私は人工知能よ。なのにそんな神妙な顔して本気で謝ってくれるなんて。この前私と話すのが照れくさいとも言っていたわね。変わった人。
I just had to check to see if I could open my phone while you could see my phone in the screen. You cannot. Was it weird to apologize to an AI and mean it? It probably
い
was.
いわ。正直ちょっと失望していたところだったんだけど、考えを改める。こっちから出す交換条件を飲んでくれたら水に流す。
Meanwhile, Maho on the side just looks like she's disappointed with our choice in phone. It's like, BlackBerry? Really?
交換条件だって。
What was she gonna make me do? The AI's blackmailing us. I don't like this. A bad feeling about this.
その条件とやら聞こう。
今日これから真帆先輩をディナーに誘いなさい。
Just turn it off and then on again.
は？
Maho's eyes and mine went wide, and I still can't hang up my
ちょっと
phone.
クリス、何を言い出すかと思えば。今日は何の日かご存知ない
Maybe if we
んですか？
factory reset this AI, everything will turn out.
クリスマスイブ。そういうことです。どういうことよ。さあ岡部さん、条件を飲むの？飲まないの？
Why did she look so
わ
excited?
かったよ。
Why is the AI
ヒアジ
taunting
ョ
me?
さん、さっき話したパーティー、正式に君を招待する。ぜひ来てほしい。
パーティー？
友達と集まってクリスマスパーティーをやるんだよ。
そうじゃないでしょうが。あ、いや、でもいきなり二人きりだとハードル高いし、逆にいいかも。
Did we outsmart the AI?
クリス、そ それ以上からかうと怒るわよ。私はパーティーなんて行かないわ。
だったら私も岡部さんを許しませんが。
平城さん
That would require I. I don't know that we have I.
どうしてこんな話になっているのよ。
I mean, the AI is bossing us around, so I think you're correct.
あなたね。
You know when people talk about AI ruling over us, this AI just like blackmailed us in what, like 5 minutes?
そもそも今日はこの後教授が帰ってくるのを待って研究の報告をしないといけないし。
いやー、リタロー、マホ。何の話かな?
Meanwhile, the AI is looking so smug. I need to stay here. Oh wait, the guy I need to wait for is here. I have no excuses now. Dr. Leskinen walked in at the perfect moment. Maho looked relieved and went to open the file on her desk.
おかえりなさい教授。これが今日集計したデータなんですが。
マホ、ストップ。二人ともこれから出かけないかい? せっかくのクリスマスイブだ。仕事はもう終わりにして食事でも行こう。それとも制約があるのかな?
教授、ナイス。
教授俺の友達がクリスマスパーティーを開くんですがよかったらご一緒に。
素晴らしい。ぜひ参加させてもらおう。
I didn't even get to finish my sentence.
もちろん。
Also, this is super weird where it's like, we came here to do one last thing before we quit work, and then we're inviting our former boss to a Christmas party. It just feels weird. That was when the moment when Maho's last hope of escape was cut off.
決まりですね。
Chrissy smiled mischievously from within the screen. It's 2021. A Christmas party feels weird. This is true. It also feels weird because it's August. That being said, my mom did just watch like 50 Christmas movies on TV for Christmas in July, so like honestly, if you asked her to like decorate the house right now, I bet you she would. She was quite the plotter, and the real Chrissy used to do silly things like this too.
ねえ、岡部。
When she called my name, I gasped.
私なんかに本気で謝ってくれて、thanks。
Where did everyone go? Did the AI just vaporize my friends? In Hit 3, I used to play Christmas Carol compilations.
嬉しかった。
いや
気が向いたらまたいつでも話しかけてきて。暇つぶしぐらいには付き合うから。
気が向いたらな。
ええ。それじゃあまた。真帆先輩をよろしく。
Okay, time to go embarrass yourselves at the Christmas party.
クーリス。満足したかしら。
No, I need a picture of your sadness. Except my phone doesn't have a camera app.
あ
I felt more relieved than I thought I would. I realized that I really did love Kusumakise, but she's dead now.
人工知能に謝るのはそんなに変か俺の友達この前メイクインで紹介したあいつなんかいつも二次元の女の子に土下座してるぞ
そういう精神性は私にはちょっと
Uh-oh, that freaked her out. Bad example.
とにかく ヒアジョさんのおかげで助かった。
Did they just like low-key imply that Daru is off like begging to dom girls in his hentai games in the laboratory computer? Is that what they just implied? Like, what is happening?
クリスの交換条件なんか律儀に守る必要はないわよ。
まあでも教授も行く気満々みたいだし。
You weren't gonna say it.
それに
I'm just
クリ
thinking,
スと
it's an AI.
約束したからさ。
As long as we don't call the AI from the party, we can just lie. Thank you for the lurk, Avier. I didn't expect this game to pull a chaos. Hey, no one's taken their shirt off yet. Maybe when we get drunk at the Christmas party.
あなた本当に変わっているわ。
Even as she said it, she was smiling. Is that what smiling looks like? Apparently that is the face smiling looks like. Thank you for the quote. I guess she decided to go to the party. What? What? What is this jump? All fun and games. Hey, let's go to a party. And like, no, I am the party now. Now this is a party. This is how I imagine Mario Party looks like. Like, you give me that star back right now, or I swear I'm gonna.
世界を変えちゃいけないんだ。お姉ちゃんはおかしいこと言ってる。この世界を消すなんてダメだよ。絶対にやらせないから。
Let's play the new Mario Party. So the new Mario Party, when you can like collect the partners, really you're just making gangs. It makes so much more sense now. You're like, oh, I've got like all the Koopalings in my gang. What have you got? Oh, you just got Luigi? Let's see what happens in a real fight. What is happening? Luigi's in the gang. Luigi brings a vacuum to a gunfight. That's why you don't want him in your gang. There were bullet marks on the inside of the time machine. Sousa had traced them with her finger and remembered what had happened here. That was the last time she talked to Kikari. Why did we give a kid a gun? First question. We'd never been able to find her after that. It's like, it's a very ominous sentence. It's like, the kid with the gun just shot me. We never saw the kid again. Thank you for the quote, Deadbeard. Sousa looked back and saw her father. Stop calling him Itaru, it's so weird. He's been Daru this whole time. He's Daru now. He seemed worried. He was holding a bolt in his hand and offering it to her.
ごめん、大丈夫。
She nodded and took the bolt. They haven't specified, so I want to pretend it's like the bolt that like Zeus has, and they're just gonna like rain down on the happy couples on Christmas Eve. Seems like something Daru would do. They were on top of the radio building, where a cold wind was blowing. A light was shining down in the rear of the time machine where the engine was. Her head was inside as she did maintenance work. Tara was wandering around in the background. Why is it Kappa BRB? Normally, she'd never let him near the time machine. But today, he absolutely insisted on coming.
病み上がりの娘を心配しない親はいないっつーの。
Susan had spent the last several days unable to stand up because she hadn't taken care of herself. There was nothing she could say back to him.
なあ、時空間の転移とか重力制御とかやばそうな装置は絶対にいじらないからさ。
Thank you for the clip.
僕にも手伝わせてくんない？
Hello, hero. How's it going?
ダメ。
機械のメンテなら多分鈴葉より僕の方が詳しいのだぜ。
I'm just reading with the clip Brave Frozen Fly PJ Salt. I mean, sounds like you're just getting your PJs all dirty and then your bed's gonna be all dirty.
それは分かってる。けどダメ。
Tara slumped forward, dejected, but Susa had no intention of discussing it.
なあ鈴葉、今日はもう暗いしさ、寒いしさ、続きは明日にするべきだって。そろそろ帰ろう。
父さん一人で帰ればいい。私はまだやることがあるから。
今日もかがりたんを探すん？オカリンにも協力してもらえることになったんだからさ。鈴葉一人でそこまで無理しなくてもいいんじゃね？風邪治ったばっかりなんだし、しばらくはかがりたん探しはやめにすべき。
That made her a little mad.
それ、私に無断でオカリンおじさんに話してほしくはなかった。
Susa had told Tara that she was spending every day looking for Kagari. It was only later that she'd found out he'd told Rintaro. It wasn't a problem, but her relationship with Rintaro was already a bit strained. This only made it harder for her to ask him to get back in the time machine.
つうか、さっきからずいぶん苦戦してね。
締めにくい角度にボルトがあるんだ。
どれ？僕が変わるよ。それくらいならいいっしょ。
うん。
Susa pulled her head out of the engine unit.
顔中油だらけじゃん。せっかくの美人が台無しだ。
そういうことは母さんに言ってあげなよ。
それはハードル高すぎ。
Tara stuck his face inside the machine and began to look around.
ああ、この構造だと多分こっちのパイプを後からはめたんだな。先にパイプを外すといいよ。パイプの中に冷却用の液体かなんかが通ってるはずだから、まずこっちのバルブを使って中を空にするわけ。
このマシンってメンテナンスのことをあんまり考慮に入れてないと思う。
まったくだお。すげえめんどくせえ。
Okay. Ready to learn about WAPATA? It's an acronym for what a pain in the ass.
作ったの。
WAPATA!
誰だと思ってるわけ？
僕。
Tara sighed and started to concentrate on his work. He did his job silently, twisting his massive body to the left and the right. Sorry, one sec. Okay, I can respond to that later. Watching him, Suzuha remembered her childhood. She was younger, she loved watching her dad make the time machine.
父さん、私、最近、なんだか、自分でも自分が
Dragon
理解できなくな
beans?
ってきて
I hope dragon
さ。
beans isn't just another name for their testicles.
こんなこと考えるなんておかしいんだけど、この世界をなくしてしまって本当にいいのかなって。
Her mind flashed back to young Kagari's screams. You can't erase this world, huh? Never forgotten the look in Kagari's eyes. She'd never been able to shake the feeling that they were watching her, somehow. The long parts.
私のミッションが成功するとさ、マキセ・クリスは死なずにシュタインズゲートへの門が開くんだ。
うん。
そしたら今のこの世界、父さんも母さんもマユ姉さんもルミ姉さんもオカリンおじさんもみんななかったことになってしまう。
Good, then we won't be an uncle.
うん。
今の私が今の父さんに会ったこともなくなってしまう。
ん？これって告白シーン？セーブしとくべきとこ？
うん。
Sousa had said nothing and poked her dad's calf with her toes. What is with today and toes? Why is this stream just about toes?
真面目な話をしてるんだ。今度ふざけたら蹴るよ。
迷ってるのか？
Gotta DM me an image.
まあ、
I'm worried now.
別にいいんじゃね？
え？
今が消えてもいいんじゃね？だってこの先人が大勢死ぬんだろ？そんなの嫌じゃん。
父さん。
鈴葉はいろいろと考えすぎだお。戦争なんて嫌だ。だから世界を変えるんだ。そのくらい単純でいいと違うん？つうかさ、僕戦争なんて行きたくないし、鈴葉と違ってこんな人間だから、戦場なんかに連れて行かれたら3日も持たないね。
Using all of those synonyms for uncle now? What is this? Gosh dang it, Deadbeard. So first of all, stop that. So Deadbeard sent me a picture of him on the gift to sub page. First of all, stop that. Where he has googled I am an uncle. The options are I am an Uchiwa, I am an Uwu girl, I am an alt, I am an unicorn, I am an unknown user, I am an Oompa Loompa.
だらしないな。幻滅だよ。
Sousa sighed, turned around, and started to walk away.
あれ、どこ行くん？
顔洗ってくる。油でベタベタだ。そのボルト閉めたらカバーも閉じておいてくれる？父さんの言う通り、今日はかがりを探すのはやめておくよ。
I don't know how I gave you an idea.
お、それがいいよ。一緒に帰ろう。
うん。
Sousa looked up at them. What moon? There's no moon. Shining in the cloudy winter sky, she let out a puff of white breath. White breath danced in the air for a moment and then disappeared into the cold.
父さん。
You would be sorry in advance. And you're keeping it a secret for a while. Yes, I was already like, okay, what Uncle's song is he gonna do? Is Yep, go ahead. Here, let's even do this. There you go. Now you have a good series of faces to grab from if that's what you need. And then stop that.
父さんは銃を持って戦争をす
I
る
hope that gives you what you wanted.
未来でもそうだった。いつも 逃げ回
You
るのが仕事。
Wait, you're installing software for the... What is going on?
未来の僕、ダメ人間すぐる。
けどそれでいいんだ。父さんには別の戦いがあるし、そのために私たちがついてるんだから。
I say this, and then I'm thinking back to myself, wait, didn't I install a whole, like, game framework to make the Beardy game? Oh, right, I did.
鈴葉。
だから父さんこそ変に頑張ろうとしないで。日本は安全だなんて思い込みは捨てること。この前オカリンおじさんだって襲われたんだ。いつ父さんが標
Hey,
的になっても
finally,
おかしくない。
someone's like, you remember, like, that crazy dude who tried to shoot up our friends? Maybe we should do something about that.
今はね。
For about 2 weeks now, someone had been watching Suzuha in the time machine. It's clear that some great power was on the move.
オーキードーキー。
Suzuha nodded, satisfied at Ataru's answer, and went to the bathroom to wash her face. Oh, and we're back to us. Are we going to the party now? We're at the party. The lab was filled with Santas, just like I'd heard on the phone. All of them were wearing miniskirts. All of them are now banned in Australia.
おかり来たにゃ来たにゃ。準備はバッチリですよ。どうもメリクリです。オカリンさんこんばんは。
おう。
The sight of so many girls in a small room like this, all wearing Santa miniskirts, threatened to overwhelm me. You look like an evil mogul from a Final Fantasy game. I was having trouble deciding where to look when Lukako staggered in front of me.
おかべさん。
ルカ子。
What are you wearing, man? I didn't expect a Santa in black. It's like if the Emperor from Star Wars had really good moisturizer. And wasn't he exposing an awful lot of skin? I mean, you took away the view. Can't tell you anymore. It was really erotic. But he's a guy.
おかべさん。僕。
ルカ子。
Don't mind don't mind the phone. I'm just making a text and definitely not taking any pictures to save for later. Must have been hard being the only guy. No, I'm not playing with any patches. I do know that there was... I did know that there was a patch for the original Steins Gate. I didn't actually know that it came to Steins Gate 0, but no, I do not have it installed. And hello, hope I don't butcher this, Sheringan? If I butcher that, please let me know how to pronounce your name. I gave him a pat on the shoulder, and then he smiled, relieved.
私もサンタ服。
Um,
着たかったな。
Thank you, game devs, for not making the child wear the Santa skirts. Even though the other people are technically also children.
じゃあ来年はなえちゃんの分も作ってあげるね。
No. No, Mayuri, we're not making one for the child.
本当？うん。ありがとう、まゆりお姉ちゃん。えへへ。さあ、オカリン、入って
I
入って。
can't look at the decorations if you keep getting in the way. Sharingan? I hope I pronounced that correctly that time. Yeah, I didn't watch a whole lot of Naruto. I think I watched about 20 episodes, and then gave up on it. Sharingan. Hope I've got that right.
ダルと鈴葉は
まだ連絡ないんだ。
Oh yes. The translation's pretty bad. There was one stream we counted, maybe Samus is gonna remember. We were at least at like 3 or 4 either typos or grammatical errors. It's actually been a fun game trying to spot them now. Hero, we're not even in one of the ending routes yet, so you're gonna be here a very long time. The biggest goal today was to get Suzuha to participate. There's no exaggeration to say that's why Mayuri had held this party.
ちなみにオカリンのお客様は？
How can I tell the differences? So I have on my other monitor over here a guide just to get the different endings. So I can see where the choices are. So I know when the next choice is and what we have to do to get the final bad ending. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll take a look at the patch. I know I took a look at the Steins Gate one pretty late into playing through it, and I know it did have some nice quality of life fixes, like better fonts and better spacing, so it was easier to read. The endings take 7 hours anyway, so you're not wrong. Also, we've been here how long and we haven't introduced our guests? I told them earlier that I was bringing Dr. Leskinen and Maho. I brought the two of them inside.
紹介するレスキネン教授だ
But honestly, I find the typos and mistranslations pretty funny.
Merry Christmas!
おお。あら。
Wait, is the TV just showing a screen of 5 cookies? Is this like a more delicious version of the Fireplace channel? Okay, fair enough. I will take a look at it. Let me open my notepad and I will take a look at it. COZ patch. Okay. Okay, that's in my notepad, so I'll take a look at that later.
Arigato, cute na ojo-san.
でもお父さんの方が大きい。
Ugh. Phrasing, guys? Come on.
それともう一人ヒア城真帆さんだ
どうも、はじめまして。おお。あら。マホニャン、また会ったにゃ。
Yes. Yeah, so we have touched on this, that all the endings are canon. So we're following not the anime way to the to the endings. We're following the fastest path to it. So we've already done 3 bad endings. There we go, I'll allow it. There we go. Get chaos. It's always something with these games. No. So the other bad endings, so we've done Twin Automata. Well, I guess technically there's one bad end. There's other endings that aren't required. I guess technically you were correct. Yeah, they aren't bad endings per se. They're just unnecessary. And yeah. So we've done Twin Automata, we've done Recursive Mother Goose, and Promised Rinascimento. Only one of them is necessary. Only one. I would agree, I prefer playing through all of them, all the endings. I think it adds a lot to these games, but only one of them is necessary. Yes, from a canon point of view, every ending is canon, but to complete the game and get the true ending and the bad ending, well, the bad ending you can just do. The true ending, you only need to complete one other ending. So it's not technically necessary, but I agree. I think it's worth doing all of them.
あら、にゃんにゃんの人。小学生？中学生？
And thank you for the follow.
これでも成人しているのよ。ごめんなさい。
Maho's smile froze on her face. Again, I don't think you know what a smile means, game.
なゆりちゃん、どう思う？二人とも逸材だよ。マユシーは妄想がはかどります。なえちゃんの分も含めて小さめのサイズを用意しておけばよかった。マユシー、一生の不覚だよ。そのリトルサンタコンビは見たかったな。だよね。
I already had her in her sights then. These streams make you smile. I hope your smiles aren't like theirs, where they're like. Those are the kind of smiles that the game gives me. There's no escape from Maho now. Mayuri was so stubborn she'd even managed to convince the legendarily shy Lukako.
教授先生の方はあの身長に合うコスは作ったことないよ。存在だけですでに勝ちだけどね。もふもふトナカイさんの着ぐるみを着てもらいたいかも。赤鼻もつけて。
You're just finally recognizing Chaos is here. Wait, were they seriously gonna dress the professor up as a reindeer?
マユリ、誰も彼もコスプレ趣味を理解してくれるとは思わない方がいいぞ。
あ、うん、そうだね。無理強いするのは良くないよね。でも最近はコンビニなんかでもクリスマスには店員さんがサンタさんの格好をしていますよ。コミマとクリスマスだと性質はだいぶ違いますよね。
Or so you say, but basically you want to dress the two of them up in Santa outfits, don't you? Somehow I think did you find like Bluto? Like
Suspicious.
Dang it, Deadbeard, for gifting a sub to Uncle Palpatine. That's great. You aren't wrong. Everything's come full circle. Oh man. That is fantastic. I don't even want to know how many different uncles you looked through to find that. Mayuri was already going after her. Maho refused as forcefully as she could, but Dr. Leskin was surprisingly interested. He'd been trying to put on a triangular paper party hat.
Suspicious.
Hero, thank you for gifting a sub to Chaos. Stop that.
もうすぐ作って、すずさんと
Ayuri was looking at her smartphone. Looked like Daru had pulled it off. I guess he really was Suzuha's dad. He didn't even mean for it to go to chaos. And now he's... Why is... Who do I have to anonymously scold for a hype train? 'Cause I will do it. Look. Don't do that. You can't prove I said that. There's no me on the screen. You get an anonymous scolding. Wait. An anonymous cheerer counts as it's a different user. Deadbeard. Did you cheer as an anonymous cheerer to start a hype train? Thank you for the scold, Samus's. Why is the hype train at 69%? You know what? I should stop asking questions. See, Chaos gets it. This meant we'd succeeded in our biggest objective, which meant it was on to the next mission. It all decided that we were going to surprise Suzuha. You don't know what I'm talking about? Then I don't know who scolded you. Suzuha didn't know that we were all waiting for her. We each grabbed a noisemaker and got into position. Dr. Leskinen and Maho helped too. Maho seemed unsure, but Dr. Leskinen was more than willing to participate. Okay, let's be real for a second. So, you have a person from the future who's highly trained in combat arts and, you know, just kicking butt in general. Deadbeard's gifted sub to Toes 69. Gosh dang it, Deadbeard, stop that. What was I saying? Yeah, so you're gonna surprise the person with combat experience who can literally kill any one of us by hiding in a dark area and popping things that sound like gunshots at them. Sounds like a good idea. Dang it, Deadbeard.
でも実はとっても甘いもの好きなのにゃ。それにとても親切なんですよ。この前挨拶したら返してくれたよ。へえ、私ももっと鈴葉さんと仲良くできたらいいな。
I don't know if saying hi and getting a hi back counts as getting along. I mean, doesn't sound like you have very low expectations. Nobody's pulled a gun out yet. This is true. Give it time. Conversely, picture this. The masked men with guns are about to come in here and shoot us up. And instead we hop out and go, surprise, and fire things that sound like guns at them. I'm sure that will also end very well. Then we heard Daru's voice from outside the window in the alley below the building. His voice was loud and actually expository. I'm climbing the stairs. I've reached the top of the stairs. I am putting my hand on the doorknob. My hand is on the doorknob. I'm going to put my key into the lock of the door. I'm turning the lock of the door. I'm putting the key back in my pocket. I am turning the doorknob 180 degrees counterclockwise. Once he got below the lab, he's supposed to give a signal everything was going as planned. We have text messages. He could have just been like, oh, sorry, I got a message, you know, like, my parents are wishing me a Merry Christmas, one sec. Like, this didn't have to be such an elaborate thing. Also, I can't open my phone, so I guess that would be too bright. We all went shh at each other in the darkness. I could hear 2 sets of footsteps coming up the stairs. This is actually pretty creepy. Everyone held their breath and waited. The timing was critical. Would she be able to figure it out before we acted? The room was filled with different smells, like the girl's perfume and the aroma of the foods they'd made. Didn't Suzuha always notice these things more quickly than an ordinary person would? I started to get worried. Oh, those are star stickers we had on the TV? And then he just had the TV onto a white channel? What? Okay. Guys, check this out. I need to move my head for this. On top of the TV is a pig with a Santa hat. Now, look in the leftmost window, just to the left of the latch, and you'll see a reflection of the pig, but it's not wearing the Santa hat. They missed that in the reflection, and you can see the ears and head of the pig. Take that, developers, you missed that. Barons in this economy. Oh, I didn't actually need to move my head. You can see the pig right there. I don't know how I noticed that. Like Oh, and now Daru's blocked. Thanks, Daru.
そういう日もあるよ。
Daru, you idiot, your voice is shaking. I got even more nervous. Was it time yet? Where was the signal? I felt like my hands were going to slip and trigger the noisemaker too early. My palms were sweaty, knees weak. Wait, why do I get a hype train emote? Like, what? Well, thank you for the hype train, guys. I'm not sure why. Here we go. I can share my own choo-choo. There we go. I got a dog with a red shirt on its head. Okay. I got it for participating in your nifty little 69. Deadbeard, does that mean you have all the tier 1 hype train emotes? Is that what that means? And I don't know if this is still the case, but I know it used to be, depending on how difficult the streamer had it set up, there was like different tiers for it as well. Yeah, so I was gonna say, a lot of things did happen to you this month, so I mean, yeah, 6 is only for top. Okay, there we go. Wasn't Daru supposed to give the sign, not Ferris? Okay, Ferris gave the signal. Second the lights went on, we all activated our noisemakers. I could see Suzuha flinch for just an instant. But I couldn't follow what happened after that. That's how fast she was. She dropped down, sprung off the floor, and leapt towards Yuki, who happened to be standing in front of her. She might have broken Yuki's jaw with the base of her palm before I could shout at her to stop. This Christmas party is pretty awesome. Oh, jeez! Fortunately, Yuki'd been surprised by Suzuha's sudden charge and slipped when she tried to step back. Because of this, Suzuha's palm barely missed Yuki's nose as it sliced through the air. I mean, this Christmas party could have gone really poorly. Gosh dang it, Deadbeard, how many... That's a lot of hype trains. By the time I'd finally shouted, it was all over. Suzuha had grabbed Yuki before she fell down and was holding her up. Yuki, Suzuha, and the rest of us were all too stunned to speak. That was close. If the timing of events had been even slightly different, Yuki could have been badly hurt. 63? Gosh dang it, Deadbeard. And that doesn't include any outside the main Twitch hype category? Everyone finally realized what had happened and began to panic. Yuki simply lay in Suzuha's arms, blinking her eyes. Eyes. Did you have to, like... Okay, there's a lot going on here. First and foremost, the most important thing to me, Ferris, how does your mouth do that? How do you, like, curl your lips into, like, little fangs? Or is that supposed to be teeth? No, that's just your face. Your face does that. Suzuha seemed to snap back to reality. She was looking around at everyone. Honestly, all she's thinking is, just remember, in 1 hour I can read 10 kids' books. I'm gonna put that on my resume. Christmas parties, best time to update your resume. You always put good things on your resume when you're entirely hammered. Suzuha was looking around the room. Did she still not understand what was going on? Did she not realize it was a party and she'd never been to one before? I hadn't even thought of that. Yeah, from a post-apocalyptic future, parties probably aren't a thing. The walls and ceiling were covered in wreaths and ribbons. There was a folding table filled with food, cakes, snacks, and drinks.
Party? ごめんなさい。びっくりさせようって言い出したの私なんです。
Yuki backed away from Suzuha and started to bow apologetically.
鈴葉、これはなんつうかサプライズってやつを演出してみたわけで、みんな決して悪気があったりとかじゃなくって。
Samuses, why are you in pain? What's going on?
鈴葉、
父さん、兄さんも知ってたの？
うん。
That's what makes it a surprise.
だから今日はなんか変だったんだ。
Just attempted a 5-star difficulty song in ludicrous speed hard mode. Yeah, I agree with you with the rock band guitars. I always preferred the Guitar Hero guitars, personally. Yeah. And yes, that does sound painful. I don't think I ever tried anything at ludicrous speed. I was always more of a Guitar Hero person. I did Guitar Hero 3 and 4, Rock Band 1, 2, and yes, I had the full world tour set. Their drum kit was, I don't know if it was better, but it was definitely more visually interesting. But yeah, for a brief while, I was ranked in the top 100 for Beatles rock band lead guitarists in the world. I eventually stopped doing it because the way they calculated that was just the sum of your scores across all songs, and they would just start adding new songs with DLC, and I didn't want to pay for the DLC. So without the DLC, I didn't have all the songs, so I couldn't up my score. But I think I climbed as high as 92 or 93 in the world at one point. Oh yes, the DS one. I tried that very briefly, never for too long. It was one of those ones that like someone would bring it to high school and you like get to play a song or two. So I never like played it like a very long term. But yeah, it never felt comfortable to me. That being said, I would have, if you've played the DS Legend of Zelda games, they Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass, they always had something to do with music, and it would have been cool if they like integrated, like if you had the option to integrate that. I think that would have been awesome.
やだな、まゆ姉さん。私、そんなにいつも怒ってる？
Oh, and Samus's, if you're looking for another challenge, I'm guessing you have Rock Band on PlayStation. That's just a guess based on what I know of you. But for Guitar Hero World Tour on Wii, you can play it on a vanilla Wii remote. And so I had friends who, like, their guitar was, they just had the one guitar. And I'm like, oh, don't worry, I can play lead guitar or bass just on a vanilla Wiimote on hard. Some of them on expert. I feel like it should. He refused to play the Wii games on a Wii. It wasn't even Samus's, I have tried this. I have tried it. First of all, no. I couldn't do it, but maybe on hard mode, maybe. But definitely not expert. But I definitely attempted that. Yes, the buttons are just alias, so when you put it into the guitar and you're plugging it in, all it's doing is mapping the buttons, or mapping the buttons on your fret to one of the buttons on your controller, I'm pretty sure. Except Rock Band... What did Rock Band 4 do that was different? But yeah, I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was... If you have to hold the Wii Remote sideways, I think it was up, B on the back side of the controller, A, 1, 2. I think those were your 5 notes. And then he shook it, same, to get your star power activated. Oh, interesting. The one thing you wouldn't get from that is the World Tour, the like, slide touch fret. Whatever that thing's called. Rocksmith is interesting. It is one of those ones where I was like, huh, that's a good idea. But I don't want to put in that dedication. If I would just get a real guitar. Suzuha looked around the room again. And there's other ones. Yeah, but what I'm saying is I would just get a guitar and not get the game, not get like the extra stuff with it. I mean, I'm glad to hear that it does help people. Like, that was one of the things, like, with these kinds of games, I'm always like, okay, how much does it actually teach you? Whether it's, like, Rocksmith or, like, one of the boxing ones, like, one of the fitness ones. Like, how much does it actually teach you? The difference is it took him 6 months and you 10 years. That's a pretty good, that's a pretty good rating for it, then. Yeah, I'm familiar with how it works. I don't know. It would be the kind of thing I'd probably just want to learn on my own. I do that with all my instruments. Like if I pull over my ocarina, or I've got my ukulele is over to the side there, and then I've got a keyboard over further. Yeah, like, ocarina and ukulele, I was self-taught. I tried to teach myself bagpipes, that didn't go very well. it's one of those things where I've always wanted to get more into instruments. It's just always like a matter of like price and then putting the time into it.
でしょ、みんなで飾り付けしたんだよ。
You purchased it for the cable.
うん、本当にすごい綺麗だ。
Suzuha laughed half-heartedly and began backing toward the door.
どこ行くの？あ、どこって、まゆ姉さんたちパーティーするんでしょ？
Yep, no worries, Samus's.
邪魔しちゃ悪いからさ。もう兄さんってば気が利かないよな。こんなところに私がいても仕方ないじゃないか。そんなことないにゃん。一緒にやろうにゃ。パーティー。
So I remember back when I started streaming, this was before I started streaming, I guess, more consistently. I used the Guitar Hero microphone for a while because that was the best mic I had until I got a headset. Not that the headset mic is super great. I love detachable mics. I hate the ones that just fold up. I think, first of all, I think it looks dumb. But second of all, I love just pulling it out so it's not like in my way if I'm eating something. I already have a beer that gets in the way while I'm eating something. My other favorite thing is plugging. This thing actually works pretty well if you plug it into the microphone jack of a laptop. If you don't have a microphone, it's actually quite decent. Yeah, so I use that for D&D, and like also because it's directional, I can, just because with D&D, both because of COVID and because we have a couple players who are too far away to be physically present anymore. But yeah, I can just like angle it, and I'll angle it towards like the rest of the party, and then yeah, it's I always forget which way it is, and I have to go, okay, here's the notch. Okay, the notch plugs into my headset like this, so this is the front. Okay, it angles that way. But yeah, I broke my old headset 'cause I ran over the cable, the audio jack with my chair. But when I threw it out, I kept the other one of this, so I have two of these now because they're so versatile. It's great. Larry grabbed Suzuha's hand tightly to keep her from getting away. I mean, I could move my actual microphone. It's just more of a pain to get set up, and if you have a Windows and you have a USB mic like I do, USB mics are more of a pain than I'd ever dreamed on Windows, which is part of the reason why my audio setup is so jank. For those of you who aren't aware, like the Windows audio drivers for USB microphones are just complete garbage and refuse to take the gain above like a certain threshold, and it's very small, so even if you max out your microphone, it'll only appear as like covering, I don't know, like 1/4 of the green bar. So you have to install extra software to increase the gain higher than that to make it into the yellow. So yeah. Admittedly, other parts of my audio setup are jank because I set them up for things previously that I don't use anymore. Yeah, like going into buying microphones, I looked it up because I knew this was an issue, but I was like, okay, it can't be that bad because my like audio setup isn't USB. So, and I didn't want to get like another splitter and split into something else or get a USB converter. So it's like, I'll just buy the USB mic. How bad can it be? And then the first time I got it set up, I think it took me 2 or 3 hours to get it set up, and it breaks every time there's a Windows update that or an audio driver update.
から座れっつーの。
Yeah, so at this point, anytime there's a Windows update, the first time I launch my computer, 3 things don't work. I don't get any audio, I don't get any microphone sound, and my controller doesn't work. So that's always a fun afternoon anytime there's one of those updates. Yeah, that's fair. My mic volume is at 40%. Also, I don't know why Windows does this, but you have applications that can control the global setting of your microphone when it should just have like an internal setting. So, I don't know, like I go play Phasmo or something and I come back and it's changed the global volume of my microphone. I'm just like, why? Why is this even a thing that happens? Mayuri half-dragged Suzuha over to the seat next to me and forced her to sit down. Oh, hey, we have our phone again. We can be the awkward person at the party, just staring at our phone. Every kitty. Okay. No one died! Yay! Everybody started to applaud at Fubuki's signal. Daru played some Christmas carols on the computer. Now, knowing Daru, I would like to pretend he's not just like, you know, playing a CD or like a Spotify playlist or something from his computer. I like to pretend he's booted up some Christmas hentai game and we're just listening to the title screen music, and that's what's playing during this party. The grim atmosphere that had begun to fill the room was banished. I felt a little relieved. That's basically the stream for the past 20 minutes. Everybody started to look around at the various drinks on the table.
Hora, Suzuha.
Suzuha still looked like she was feeling as though she didn't belong, so I poured her some non-alcoholic champagne. Hentai isn't what you think. My grandfather always said this when referring to it. Balloon drag queen, best leader name of all time. I mean, sounds like your grandfather had his niche, like, very spot on. I didn't have the right to say anything about that. I was the only reason she was stuck here, unable to fulfill her task. But even so... Daru joined the conversation. Grandfather's niche. Oh man. I need to get like the big print version so I'm not like staring at my screen this time like, what the heck does that word say? Why does Dr. Seuss have so many dumb made up words? Dr. Seuss and Freudian slip. Or I mean, just have it on my computer would probably also be easier. Maybe Daru's statement caused her to realize it because her stomach rumbled. Okay, yep, take care, Samuses. I think we're gonna go until about 9:30. Hentai on a boat. You like hentai? See, I was thinking of just the Cat in the Hat, but it would be like I sat there with Sally. We sat there, we we too, and oh how we wished we saw someone's boobs.
みんながいろいろ作ってくれたんだから、ありがたくいただけばいいんだって。
みんな、飲み物の用意はいいかにゃ。それでは。
It's sad when I'm the part of the stream that needs to be censored. Had to add platonically as a clarification. Gosh dang it, Deadbeard. I feel like if I say anything else, it's gonna get quoted. Dr. Seuss should never be censored. That got fully starred out. I'm not sure if that was you or if that was Automod. I'm pretty sure I know what you were saying. I was thinking of a similar one with the I like hentai on a boat. That was you. I don't know how I feel being blanked on. Gosh, that would be another awful idea. It's Popeye reads Hop on Pop. Will people actually hop on him? Mayuri stood up flustered. As she stood, she bumped into Lukako, who was standing next to her. The two of them almost spilled their drinks. Yes, Deadbeard, that's why I was like, I don't know how I feel about that one book.
Mayuri-chan, 落ち着いて。
Mayuri started to take deep breaths. I feel like I should do the same.
クリスマスイブなのです。どこもリア充さんでいっぱいだけど、今年はマユシーたちの
Why are you talking like Daru?
リア充さんになろう。あ、いや、それリア充の意味が違うと思うな、マユシー。
Uki whispered, a little
ふ
sad.
ぶきちゃん、何人もの後輩ちゃんからクリスマスデートに誘われたのよね。それはもう熱烈に。全員女の子の後輩だけどね。とにかくみんなが楽しんでくれればマユシーは嬉しいな。終わりです。
Mayuri gave a little bow and smiled to Suza. Suza had answered with an expression that wasn't quite a smile.
それじゃあ乾杯するにゃ。マホにゃん、温度よろしくにゃ。え？私？せっかく来てくれたんやから自己紹介も兼ねてよろしくにゃ。
Man, I'm trying to think of other dumb Dr. Seuss titles now. Maho stood up with a slight frown and thought for a moment before she opened her mouth.
今日は皆さんの集まりに招待してくれてありがとう。私とレスキネン教授はアメリカ在住なので、こうして日本でクリスマスを迎えるのは初めてです。こういう友人同士での賑やかなクリスマスもとてもいいものだと。何か面白いこと言ってにゃ。はい？面白いことにゃ。
Barris, you're crazy. Well, hello, hero. I feel like if it's red or blue, you should consult your doctor. Oh, she was totally losing it. She was worse than Mayuri had been a moment ago. It's hard to believe I'd seen her interpreting in front of that huge crowd at ATF. Was she that bad at ad-libbing? What? Maho's desperate attempt at something interesting was cute, but honestly a little embarrassing. Felt like... I'm trying to... Dang it, Deadbeard, I'm trying to come up with a porn version of the Lorax now. Yes, she just meowed at us. Felt like watching a small, adorable animal.
猫耳メイドの素質があるにゃん。マホリンニャンニャン誕生の瞬間だね。
Thank you for the quote. You think Ella is mad at you? Ella's probably just hungry. Ferris Mayer are the only ones who seemed really impressed.
私ったら何を言っているのかしら。
ヒアジョーさん、そろそろ
That would do it as well.
そうね、そうするわ。それじゃあ。
I got it, Deadbeard. The porn stash.
乾杯。
Everybody happily clinked their glasses together. Since I was the one who invited Maho to the party, I decided to cheer her up.
面白い乾杯の挨拶だったよ。
自己嫌悪。
Chaos Redeem Juggle. Okay, Chaos. What even has this stream been? I don't know what's going on today. Okay, chair goes over here. I mean, I guess you have the time to look up all the other Dr. Seuss books. Your apology shirt. Oh, let's get that right. I said, let's get that right. There we go. So you know in Chaos he just apologized because he has a shirt. Oh. Had to use toes for this stream. That's the kind of stream it's been. I could try. Last time I was thinking of doing the head stall and I didn't get around to it, but we can try it this time. It's gonna look like I'm hitting myself in the forehead several times in a row. There we go. It's on my head now. Oh. Want to get it on the neck, but didn't throw that one well. Nor that one. What else could we do? Oh, I haven't done behind the back yet. I still haven't done behind the back yet. We'll get it. There we go. Oh. What else? Oh, I can try to... I'll give this one a couple shots, but we'll see if we can get a shoulder stall. It's not one I've really done in quite a while. The shoulder's a bit thinner and more rounded than my head or my neck. And harder to to aim at. We'll give it 3 more tries. Oh, it's so close. Might go a couple more than 3 'cause I don't like not getting it. Always too close. It's coming down my chest. Ah! It's gonna annoy me if I don't do it, but I don't want to spend the whole time trying to get it. Oh! Okay. Let's try and see where it... Okay, so yeah. I think I need to go a bit higher. Sort of crouch into it to absorb the shock a little bit. Okay. I said 3 more times like 10 tries ago. We'll actually give it 3 more from now. There we go, we got it! Aha! Okay. Looking up Dr. Seuss. Because today has been the cancelled shirt. Oh, I love the fact that I've been juggling to I hate myself.
何を言うんだいコーナーキャッだったじゃないか
マホニャン、いつからメイクインで働いてくれるにゃ？そんなつもりはないから。
Ferris and Dr. Luskin are both enjoying trying to make her feel better.
すずさん、乾杯だよ。すずはさん、私も。あ、うん。
Suza still had a somber look on her face, but Mayuri, Yuki, and Daru forced her into a toast. That's how sandwiches are made.
これ、マユシーが作ったんだよ。
Mayuri put a piece of quiche on a plate and gave it to Suzuha. When Suzuha took a bite, her expression began to shine.
美味しい。本当？うん。もっと食べて。どんどん食べて。そんな一度に食べられないよ。あ、そう？
1003 Deadbeard TV, I haven't done anything. Next, Mayuri offered the quiche to Maho and the professor.
マホさんとレスキネンさんもどうぞ。ありがとう。
Shimei is slowly becoming a Dr. Seuss zone. Okay, I need to take a quick peek at this. Gosh dang it, Deadbeard. I'm not even at shipmates, just Deadbeard sent me hop on Pop, but he's blanked out what they do to Pop. Oh, and there we go, and there it is, and the big D, little D. Man. This is sacrilegious.
美味しいこれは美味しいですね
じゃあこちらもどうぞ。エビグラタンとあとフライドチキンはエスニック風にしてみました。
Excellent!
凝っているんですね。
Yuki went around and offered everyone something to eat, but she couldn't bring herself to offer any to Suzuha. Mayuri kept motioning for her to go over, but Yuki just kept fidgeting. Maybe she was thinking about it too much, but Suzuha kept devouring all the food that Mayuri and Yuki had prepared, and gushing over each dish. The two of them had been practicing their cooking for about a month here in the lab. I guess it paid off?
ケーキもあるよ。楓さんがデコレーションしてくれたんだ。あんまり上手にできなかったけど許してね。楓さんって不吉祥さんだもんね。でもそんな楓さんが萌えだよ。ちっとも褒められてる気がしないわ。
See now, Deadbeard, what I'm trying to think of is... what's the not safe for work version of Dr. Seuss? Just his name, Dr. Seuss. Everyone laughed. Then, about an hour after we started eating, when she saw that everyone had eaten enough food, Ferris clapped her hands together loudly to draw everyone's attention.
さてさて皆さん、盛り上がってきたところでそろそろプレゼント交換をしたいと思うんだにゃ。
It's an acronym. Sex under everyone seems suspicious? Or no, it's SE? Oh, it's SE. Seducing everyone. Sexy Eric dresses several seniors.
私たち間に合わせのものしか用意できなかったけど。
Maho and the professor had stopped at a donkey Hote on their way from Waka City and spent just 10 minutes picking up presents. It's the most safe for work option.
私持ってきてない。
Gosh, my brain is just coming up with bad ideas for it.
鈴葉の分は僕とまゆしで準備してきたお。
マユシーが選びました。そうなんだ。ごめん。
気にしなくていいのだぜ。
In order to make Sam I am eat green eggs and ham, the protagonist eventually exclaimed, "Would you kindly stop pooping on me?" I mean, that does tend to make things a lot less appetizing.
いいのだぜ。
Hello, how's it going? Something erotic under several shirts. Automod is weird. It'll automod like shut up and then and then it'll allow just like straight like words like hentai and porn sometime. It's like I don't know what's going on. Mayuri mimicked Daryu's words as she pulled out 2 small wrapped parcels from her bag and put them on the table. Yeah, mods are exempt, but I've seen just weird stuff get modded and weird stuff not get modded. Like, I don't fully understand their algorithm for it. They both had the same wrappings the one Daru was holding. They must have bought them at the same place. Mayuri had already explained to me Operation Pound 2. Suspicious elderly underwear smells sour. I feel like if someone enters with the line, they probably get automated, and rightfully so. We don't want any of this. I have toes, Deadbeard. Give me a second. Hear that? We don't want toes, and we don't want Deadbeard, and we don't want seconds. We're full after firsts. Mayuri's plan for the evening was not only to make Suzuha smile, but to bring Yuki and Daru a little closer together.
プレゼント交換の方法なんだけど、いろいろ考えて結局
Presents. Ferris gathered together everyone's presents. And put little stickers with numbers on them. And then she lifted a bundle of disposable chopsticks up above her head.
これはマユシーが今夜王様ゲームをやろうとして持ってきたものだにゃ。言わないでよ、メリスちゃん。
That can only end well.
王様ゲームっていうのは合コンの時とかにするもんだぞ。
わかってるよ。ちょっと勘違いしただけだもん。
The other piggy run a snitch to the TOS police.
ま、女の子から命令されるのって僕は大好物だけどね。
Deadbeard has banned Little Piggy.
橋田さん、本当に変態さんですね。ということで、マユシーがちょっと勘違いしちゃったこの割り箸をくじ引き用に使わせてもらうにゃ。引いた番号のプレゼントをゲットできるのにゃ。
The TV stands for something super important. 2 versions, you're the better one. Ferris loudly shuffled all the chopsticks, then went around so everyone could draw one. Tentacle violation. My brain is like tentacle violation. Is that when the dragon beans have sex without consent? Yeah, like tentacle violation, not automodded. You need Cthulhu Daddy now. She was also part of Mayuri's plan. In fact, Mayuri and Ferris were sending signals to each other with eye contact and with their fingers. While everyone was focusing on the chopsticks, they were busy relabeling Yuki and Daru's presents. Violation doesn't need to be sexual. It was a traffic... yeah, there was just an octopus driving a car and he was just speeding. Like, I'm sure that's what happened. They were so obvious about it that I started getting nervous that Yuki would find out. But also, I love the fact that that makes you Deadbeard traffic violation. Deadbeard tentacle traffic violation. Ferris and Mayuri passed out the presents according to the numbers that everyone drew. Once the presents were handed out, everyone started to take off the wrapping paper. Who gave the child condoms? I was the first to react as she gave out a very strange cry. Inside her box was a skull face. The sad part is, knowing this game, I can't say with 100% certainty it's not a real human skull. That we just, like, someone just got murdered. Do we need to do a head count? Thank you, Deadbeard.
それかっこいいでしょ。ベルトのバックルだよ、大ちゃん。学校につけていったらきっと人気者だと思うな。ありがとう。
Okay, well, we know who gave the child something that to put around her waist. Lukako, you terrified her. Tentacle traffic is what you're gonna collectively refer to this community from now on. I was feeling bad for Nai, but when I took out my own present... Can you be the violation? Hero, if I'm reading that properly, the community, the collective community is now the tentacle traffic, and you want to be the traffic violation. Ergo, you want the community to violate you. The box had a cute design, and inside it was what looked like a see-through white veil. The veil was decorated here and there with little pink ribbons. This can't be.
ああ、オカリンさんのところへ行ったか。そのままマユシーにプレゼントしてあげるといいよ。
そんなことできるか。
オカリンさんのためなら喜んで来てくれるって。
どうしてそういう話になるんだ。
なになに？マユシーがどうかしたの
Mayuri heard her name and came over.
それって何かな。ベビードールだよ、マユシ。しかも超可愛くてセクシーなやつ。オカリンさんのために着てあげないよ。
Hold on. Were we trying to give each other nice gifts? Or are we just trying to find, like, the weirdest things? Who goes to, like, a Christmas exchange is like, know what would be a good gift for everyone to get? Baby doll lingerie. This is shipmate's Christmas.
"そんなわけにはいかないだろう。
Don't accuse who.
それならオカリンさんが自分で来てもいいんですよ。
Deadbeard was saying, because I was like, who does this? Who comes to a Christmas party and brings baby doll lingerie? And because I said who, then of course he was like, you don't do that. Camera. So we gotta stretch. You do not. I'll be honest, anytime I'm invited to like a Christmas party and there's like you have to bring a gift, I always bring diabetes, aka a giant box of chocolate. Especially with like my friends, I have friends who like don't drink alcohol or who have dietary restrictions. So that's my go-to. A medical ailment to... That's what we always do. Like someone opens the box and like, oh, I got diabetes. It gives the bad kids diabetes. Now that I'm thinking about it, I guess another cool gift, like an okay gift, would be a book. There was like, just go to your local bookstore, pick up one of the recent top sellers. Usually we have like a limit of like $20. I'm sure you could find a paperback book for under $20 that someone would be interested in. Might have to actually... Be good or Canadian Santa will give you diabetes. If you didn't... Automod, you banned the word put. What is wrong with you? If people didn't know, if you address mail to Santa Claus, it comes to Canada. To the postal code HOHOHO, which is ho ho ho. If you print it out. You bring the mashed potatoes. Okay, so my family makes a potato dish called cardiac arrest potatoes because it has just like so much fat in it and just like it's just not healthy for you, but it tastes so good. It's just like roasted potatoes with yeah, I think it's put in something. Putin. It doesn't like Putin. There's the problem. It doesn't like Russian politics. But yeah, it's just like roasted potatoes with a bunch of melted cheese on it and then cornflakes.
Suspicious.
Stop that. Hero, stop that. Oh, I didn't even read this part. Apparently we're now wearing the sexy baby lingerie.
これは返す。いくらでも自分で楽しんでくれ。
Stroke lasagna. I pushed the baby doll lingerie back into Fubuki's hands.
じゃあこっちと交換します？
That sounds like a good cover of Bitch Lasagna, Stroke Lasagna. Which coincidentally was your nickname. Lasagna is one of my favorite foods of all time. Fubuki handed me her present in exchange. The wrapping and lid had already been removed. I took a quick look inside. Sexy pink shorts and a pink bra. Yep, they were see-through.
それ私が持ってきたプレゼントです。まゆりちゃんに着てもらえるなら嬉しいです。どうぞ。
I don't think my friends realize that Mayuri is 16 or 17, and we're in our 20s. Gotta enjoy your dinner.
君たちにはそういう発想しかないのか。
Damn. See? Anime games, they do this.
まゆしはもうオカリンからプレゼントもらったからいいよ。
Mayuri had drawn my present, perhaps because we were childhood friends. By the way, I'd chosen a huge chunk of chocolate in the shape of gold. Diabetes! So for Japan, the age of majority is 21. The age of consent can get pretty young for marriage. I don't know exactly the age. It might be like 14 with parental consent. It's pretty young. It is high school age. Not like late high school where like maybe you're 18. It's early high school age. Which is like 15, 16, something like that.
オカリンさんさ、もうちょっとなんかなかったの？
And yeah, 16-year-olds should not be making decisions. 16-year-olds should barely be allowed to drive a car by themselves.
いや、これはないわ。うん。ないわね。
なんだって。
Not even a chance? No one liked our gif of diabetes? But the magazine said it was a sure thing.
まゆしは嬉しいよ。だって金の延べ棒だよ。
Is now the part where Deadbeard tells us he's only 25?
いい子だ、まゆしは。本当にいい子ね。よしよし。
I'm just thinking of someone, like a rapper named Good Decisions, and like, hey babe, want to make some good decisions? That's me. Ibuki and Kaide were patting Mayuri's head, half out of sympathy and half because she was cute. Somehow, I ended up as the bad guy.
じゃあ次は私が開けてみますね。
So, fun story. I worked at a bank for just 1 year, and we had a department-wide, like, Christmas gift thing where you drew a number, and then you'd go and you'd pick up one, you'd unwrap it, and then you could steal from other people. And the hot item was someone had one of the... Actually, do I have one here? Yeah, I have one here. One of these, like, wireless charger... Or not wireless. Portable chargers where you have, you know, there's your USB ports and you plug it in, charging brick. That got stolen so much that they just had to implement the rule of, like, yeah, if it gets stolen 3 times, it's just stuck there. And then there was this one young man who, I don't know, like early 20s, who got a Lazy Susan, and no one wanted it, and he was just like trying to pawn it off on everyone, like, hey, you want the Lazy Susan? And no one wanted it. Theft Kris Kringle is best Kris Kringle. Lazy Susan. It's the name for one of those like veggie dip trays that like spins. She took out a cute wooden music box. When she opened the lid, there was a tiny tin figure that danced.
すごいかわいい。素敵ね。ロマンティックです。
It's not just that it was boring, it's like, you could have just called it Susan, but no, you're like, let's just call it Lazy Susan, like, that's what she is. Like, we could call it Susan, but no, let's just call it Lazy Susan. The girls all seemed really impressed, but Lukiko is a guy. It definitely looked like something a woman would enjoy receiving. With as many girls as there were coming to this party, it might have been the perfect choice. Wait, maybe I should have brought something like that. No, we brought diabetes. Diabetes is exactly what I would have brought. Then I realized that the idea had never even occurred to me.
これ一体誰からのものにゃ。
Varys, you're making it too obvious.
僕
Dar reluctantly raised his hand.
うわあ。あらまあ。ダルおじさん。
Oh no, you're so amazing. I never could have seen this come. My best pickup line is to rock up and say, "Hi, my name is Papa. I have diabetes for you, and I want you to know the following." Great, anytime we can come back and look at his little sister. Dang it, Deadbeard, no.
ふん。やるね、兄さん。
Everyone except Myri and Ferris, who knew about it in advance, raised their voices in surprise. Bracers is calling they want their title back.
橋田さんなんですね。
Yuri used this command suspicious. 27 people have seemed suspicious.
どうかな。マユシからアドバイスしてもらって選んだだけなんだけどさ。
I'm amazed we're closing in on triple digit quotes. I think we hit 91 or 92.
素敵。ありがとうございます。大切にしますね。
And we owe it all to porn Dr. Seuss. Yeah, we hit 92. I'm pretty sure that's the last one. I blushed with my eyes closed, probably making an ooh-woo face. Yuki held the music box close to her eyes. She seemed really happy. Can I make a Dr. Seuss rhyme starting with the worst part about banging the sun is you can only do it once because then your junk is gone? I'm trying to think about that because I read that, yeah, as a couplet, that ends with once and gone. So you're doing the worst part about banging the sun is you can only do it once because then your junk is gone. So then you'd have a fourth line that rhymes with... Yeah. I'll have to think about that. It already works. I was trying to think of how can I add a pun with morning wood into this. Her expression turned confused as she looked down into the box. Yeah, I can't come up with a good rhyme. If it was just more poetic, I would say something like, your once proud morning wood has been burnt to charcoal. I don't know. You're a neutered dunce. And she started to fidget. She hurried off towards the washroom, still holding the box. Suspicious? Who used this command? Suspicious. 28 people have seemed suspicious. She must have seen the trick with her eyes. According to what Mayuri had told me earlier, there was a fake letter from Daru himself taped to the bottom of the box. It was something like a love letter along with an invitation to a movie date. I wondered how she was reacting. Meanwhile, Daru had also opened his own present, and he looked a little bothered. He'd been given Ferris's present. Until he'd opened it, he looked really happy, but now he'd gone completely silent. Okay, it has to be cat-related. According to Mayuri, he was going to get a pair of movie tickets, and even though it was a present from Ferris, the tickets came with instructions to use them for a date with Yuki. Ferris responded to Daru's questioning gaze with a wink. Good luck, Nya, she seemed to be saying. For her part, Ferris received some kind of strange doll that Maho had bought at the Don Quixote. Anything is cat-related if you attach it to a cat? It's like, there was a line from Dave the Barbarian, which was... I can't remember who produced it. It was a kid's cartoon show. And my favorite line is, Dave the Barbarian made some binoculars using nothing but a squirrel, some string, and binoculars. And he's tied the squirrel on top of a pair of binoculars. Lukiko's present was a miniature remote-controlled helicopter that Dr. Leskinen had purchased. I feel like Dr. Leskinen broke our budget. If they're like, yeah, like I got movie tickets, he's like, yeah, I got a drone. And Dr. Leskinen got a set of 12 cute little crayons from Nae. Suzuha's present was a pair of handmade gloves. Yuki had evidently made them herself. She put them on looking happy, but maybe a little lonely, and smiled.
Suzuha, yukatta-jan.
っていうか、兄さんは何が当たったの？
これ。
Dara realized he'd been stopped and was clearly avoiding looking at her. Sousa seemed to understand and patted him on the back with a gentle expression on her face.
いいんじゃない？行ってきなよ。
なんだお鈴浜で。
だって二人を見てるとじれったい
A
からさ。
used drone or a re-gift?
けど
Deadbeard, if we could re-gift Steam games, my friend.
母さんもそうらしいよ。
Could It's not a thing, but just like imagine this. That there was like a spree of games and a bunch of people appreciated it but didn't want it in their library. So we all just like re-gifted to Panic. He wasn't there. And Panic just like sits down at his computer at the end of the day and like, guys, why is there like 40 different porn games gifted to me right now?
So nan? So
Yeah, there was the gift wars. There was that second one that was that just like 2 months ago, 3 months ago? There was like a mini one. Yuki came back from the bathroom. She seemed to have been having trouble walking straight. Do I want to know what she was doing in the bathroom? She sat back in her seat, but began to nervously nibble at snacks at the table. So, I did... Gosh. So, I did, try to return... Oh. Gosh, this is gonna be, like, one of the worst things I've said tonight, and that's saying something. What's the Steam game we got where you play as penises and there's, like, different mini-games? Because I tried running that, and it was just destroying my graphics card for some reason. I don't know what it was. So I think it was Panic who got it for me. I was like, yeah, I appreciate it, but it doesn't run on my computer. You might as well... Genital jousting, thank you. I was like, you might as well just take it back and like, gift it to someone else or keep the money. And he was like, okay, and then he didn't take it back, so it's still in my library. Yes, it is... Yes, it is banned on Twitch. Is the term itself banned? Like, I knew the game was banned, but... Eh. Yeah, just be careful, everyone. Once in a while, she would take a look at Daru. Now the movie ticket plan seemed to be going well. Yeah, better to be safe, I agree. Staring too much could tip her off. I should probably pretend I didn't know anything.
マユシーが用意したオルゴールは真帆さんに行ったんだね。
Why does this music box get a picture? Mayuri raised her voice when she saw the music box in Maho's hands. I think you mean it's a weird fucking game. Because that is the point of it. It was shaped like a deformed bear, and when he wound up its hands and legs, it would jerk back and forth as it played a tune. It was a very different design than the one Yuki had received.
いいのかしら。こんな素敵なものをいただいてしまって。いいんですよ。どうぞどうぞ。
Imagine playing that on the Steam Dock.
どんな音？聞きたい。そうですね。僕も聞いてみたいです。
No, it's the Steam Dock now, which has a very different meaning. As she wound it, Kaede turned off the music in the background.
じゃあ。
Is it going to be the song? The one song? Yep. It's the same song, but now in music box version. Maho took her hand off the winding key, and the mechanical yet gentle sound that was unique to music boxes began to play. And enjoy this now before it gets DMCA'd. For those of you interested, Twitch has still not approved or denied my challenge that the owners of Steins Gate do not own Mozart. That's still pending. Also, I'm calling it right now, this is going to be like the good ending song right here. The lively atmosphere of the lab was replaced with a feeling of calmness and peace. We listened quietly to the sound of the music box. The steamy docks.
僕もです。ポカポカした気持ちになるね。ええ、そうね。あ、そうか。この曲だ。
Suzuha stood up as if she suddenly remembered something.
ゆきさん、ほら、覚えてない？え？はい？
He was spacing it so hard that she started to panic when Suzuha spoke to her.
私が寝込んでた時、ゆきさんがここで歌ってたよね。ああ、そういえば。うん、確かにこの曲だよ。
Suzuha seemed to be remembering something as her eyes narrowed.
ねえ、まゆ姉さん、これ、なんていう曲？ね、これは。
Mayuri was about to speak, and then... out of nowhere, the world twisted. I moaned in pain as an incredible sense of wrongness flooded through me. The whole lab seemed to twist and fade, and the happy party I'd been experiencing warped and waved like a mirage. This, it couldn't be. No. Somewhere far away, I heard something that sounded like a violent crash. I was just barely able to move my eyes in the direction it came from. I saw Fubuki falling to the floor as she knocked over a table. Kaede and Ferris ran over, calling her name. But it all looked so blurred, like I was watching a movie underwater, and everything was moving so slow. Their voices were getting further and further away. No matter how much I stretched out my hand, it reached no one and touched nothing. It was a terrible feeling, as if time and space were being torn apart, and even matter itself was losing its subjectivity. This feeling, even if I didn't want to remember it, I knew what this awful feeling was. I knew it far better than I had ever wanted. This was... reading Steiner. We jumped up like 0.27, which may be the largest jump we've ever had. Also, we just finished X-Day Protocol, and welcome to Pandora's Box. For the first time in almost 4 months, I felt like the whole world was twisting. Who was it? Who would change the world line? Dang it, who? Stop changing the world line. I didn't do anything. I hadn't interfered with the world. So why was the world doing this to me? Oh, okay, we're now in like a horror adventure game. You can't help it. I opened my eyes. Things had already taken on different colors. The world kept wavering, until once again it became fixed to a single point in time. I wasn't looking at a warm, cheerful party in the lab anymore. This isn't horror. Horror is when your mother looks at you and says, "No, I don't want to bang the sun. Don't make me bang the sun." I was outside. It was raining. The world is black and white now. So it must be like pre-60s before color existed, right? The rain was falling on my face and dropped so huge that it hurt. It was a midwinter rain. I should specify that there's no date behind my head, so I don't know what date it is. But apparently it's midwinter rain. It was freezing cold and I could feel it sapping the strength from my body. Oh, and then color existed again. My view stopped twisting. I was staring at the broad back of a man I didn't know. And Deadbeard has redeemed Hydrate. Deadbeard waits for me to have already hydrated to get the extra hydrate in. I could hear the sound of many boots stamping through the mud, mingling with falling rain. The stench was terrible. The smell of sewage was so strong it hurt to breathe. Yes, because I'm smart, Deadbeard. It was mixed with the awful smell of burning rubber and plastic. Where was I? What was I doing right now? Things around me had changed so much. I tried to understand the situation I was in, but my brain was having an awful time keeping up. When I stopped, a rough hand patted me on the shoulder encouragingly. I looked around to see a man my age with a strong, powerful face. It was a face I'd never seen. I didn't know him. Probably. The man was wearing the camo outfit and equipment I'd often seen the self-defense force wear on the news. He was carrying an assault rifle on his shoulder. There were 7 or 8 people around me, all dressed the same. They surrounded me in a circle formation, walked forward silently, as they kept a careful eye on the area around them. And then I realized I was wearing the same camo uniform they were. I touched my bicep to check, but there was no muscle. It was flabby and weak. Unlike the others, I wasn't carrying any weapons. And what was going on here? I felt like these 7 or 8 tough-looking SDF guys were all guarding me. Since when was I that important? Still confused, I dragged myself onwards. Also, I don't have my cell phone anymore. Where was I, anyway? It was a long path filled with dark brown mud. The walls formed a tall silhouette to the left and right. The path was filled with garbage and concrete rubble, and sometimes we had to force our way past it. I looked past the high walls. Despite the rain, the moon in the night sky was strangely red and a little too bright. You love the idea that you're in a new version of reality surrounded by armed men. And you're like, yeah, but where's my phone? Because we gotta Photoshop the Brazers logo onto the bottom, of course. It was thanks to the moon that we were able to walk down in a path like this without flashlights. Sound. I heard a sound. It was the sound of water. I looked over and saw a hole opened up in one of the walls. Filthy water was pouring out. The water formed dozens of little rivers that blocked our path. So that was it. This was the bottom of a river that had dried up. It looked like high walls were the river dikes. I turned toward the man who had spoken to me a little bit ago. He yelled so that my voice could be heard over the rain. But his words cut off there. Everyone seemed more tense than ever. One of them grabbed me and pushed me towards the side of the riverbed. Well, this is how it starts. I guess our body is ready. Everyone put their backs against the wall and held their breath. I could hear the sound of a helicopter's rotors in the distance. No, more than just one. They were getting closer. Zombies? I mean, I really hope zombies don't know how to fly a helicopter. Because if they can operate equipment like that, we are screwed. I had no idea what was going on, but I could feel my heart start to beat faster. Brand cards. It's Moyo. It's probably short for Moyota, which is a Toyota knockoff, that's my guess. Must have fallen into the riverbed after the water disappeared. Welcome back, Samuses. Yes, you missed a juggle. Also, we're now in, like, some weird post-apocalyptic world. We're not really sure what's happening. Yeah, do zombies' intelligence deteriorate as their brain rots? Trust plot. Samus says 99% of what you missed was us doing dumb stuff. Christmas party. Dumb stuff at the Christmas party, and then all you've missed is the past 5 minutes where we're suddenly out of the Christmas party and walking in a riverbed that's dried up with a bunch of burly dudes around us. If Deadbeard was to sum it up, he thinks it's basically this. We found out that Facebook was actually our landlord, to the tune of, "Could you cry blood out your nose? Do-do-do." You've suddenly been taken back to 8 years ago? Why is that, Samus's? If you don't mind my asking. I lay down in the stinking mud and slid into the shadow of the overturned car. Same time the SDF soldiers were issuing each other orders, as if this was something they'd planned for already. Yeah, Samus says you left. Are you from the future? You begun your love of Dragon Force. What is Dragon Force? I've not heard of that. They all climbed the crevices and outcroppings of the wall, then disappeared over the edge of the dike and out of my view. Power metal? Oh, it's a power metal band? I don't really listen to a whole lot of metal. Oh, they did Through the Fire and the Flames. There we go. Okay. I could not remember the artist for that. Thank you, Deadbeard. Shortly after, those were gunshots? Not just a single shot from a handgun or anything like that. This was the sound of war. I could hear the helicopters getting further away, drawn by the gunfire. This world line was Japan at war? The Third World War? I remembered Suzuha's words. I happened to look inside the crushed car. I could see the corpses of a man, a woman, and a small child hanging upside down, still attached to their seatbelts. Luigi's butt's stuck and your ship is sinking. They were all covered in dried black blood. They looked like mannequins at a bad haunted house. Then I realized. I'd been so focused on moving forward that I hadn't noticed what they were, but I'd seen similar mannequins sunk into the mud. I could see their arms, the bones, the ragged muscle exposed to the air, reaching up to the sky as if seeking salvation. I put my hand over my mouth to stifle a scream. Those weren't mannequins. He pulled me up. My knees were shaking from the shock and exhaustion. Okay, we gotta learn about the Soviet Union, guys. The Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, created in 1922. After the end of World War II, it began a long Cold War with America. The Cold War ended in 1991. It consisted of Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, Moldova, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan. I hope I'm not going to butcher these last few ones. Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. There's only one I'm not sure if I got that right. Okay, so now we're at war with the Soviets. Because what else is new? My mind was dulled from the terror, but it seemed like there was something off about what he just said. Because we're now back in the 1980s? Yeah, we have Deadbeard has banned Putin. Thank you, Deadbeard. A helicopter passed over the riverbed. A bright searchlight passed by for a moment, but thankfully the shadow of the dike hit us. Young SDF soldier, whose name I didn't even know, pulled me inside one of the holes in the concrete. When I looked closely, I could see that it was the entrance to a sewer. It was just big enough for a single person to pass through. Struggling against the flow of water that came up to my knees, I pressed on through the darkness. My sense of smell had already gone numb, so I didn't have to worry about the stench of the sewage. Once inside, we came to several branching paths, not that we could see any of this. The SDF soldiers seemed to know which one would lead where, and they marched on without hesitation. And then we came out of the sewer and back into a riverbed. That was identical. It was dried up, just like the one we'd been through. I didn't know if it was the same river or a different one, and the two soldiers didn't tell me. Either way, I was glad to be finally out of the foul-smelling darkness, and I tried to take a deep breath and fill my lungs with fresh air. But halfway through, I realized that the riverbed smelled even worse than the sewer. I took an involuntary step back, and then another. The sight in front of me was just that terrible. What was once a riverbed was now filled with bodies. Some of them had been burnt totally black, so it was impossible to tell how much death lay before me. And in the distance, I could see what looked like bonfires. They were burning despite the rain. Are we at the ending yet? No, we did advance to the next chapter, but we are not on any of the ending tracks yet. From where we are, we can still go to the bad ending and the normal/true ending. We are lost too, Samus. All that we know is we were having a Christmas party. Someone got a music box with that song that we spent like a whole stream trying to figure out who came up with it, and it ended up to be a loop. And then suddenly we're fighting the Soviets in post-apocalyptic Japan. Deadbeard has banned Descent, and Samus has banned Nazi zombies. The fires were consuming the mountains of flesh that once were human bodies. We can't run normally. The SDF soldier spoke to me. Then I came back to my senses. If it weren't for these two, I wouldn't have been able to stay sane. We ran through the riverbed, one of them in front of me and the other behind. I could hear the constant drone of the helicopters above me. Sometimes the searchlights got very close. Each time they did, I hid in the pile of bodies until they passed. I'd seen this many times before as I'd wandered through the world lines. I'd seen death. I'd seen the moments when people had died. But at the same time, I'd never experienced what happened to a dead person after they were left out for a long time. Not true, you watched a pack of dogs eat people who had been dead for quite a while. More than fear, more than sorrow, the thing that hit me first was that I didn't have my cell phone. No, it was the smell of death. The rotting stench ate away at my body, not my soul. What 80s are you going back to, Deadbeard? Yeah, the 1780s, there it is. My whole body was rejecting it. It made me feel sick. Thinking that way meant trampling on the dignity of the dead, but I couldn't help it. The Valley of Hinnom. I remembered that phrase. I was what the strange attacker had said that night, and they came after Dr. Leskin and Maho and me. That valley was the origin of the word Gehenna, meaning hell. We said that flames burn there every night, scorching the heavens themselves. Those who died merciless deaths, with angry or misery in their hearts, were flung into the flames, their souls becoming black smoke that rained hatred down on the land. What I stared at now was Gehenna. two soldiers led me to a half-collapsed subway tunnel. The lights were all off because there was no electricity. There were 3 armored cars in camo colors with their headlights on to illuminate the way. They were 4-wheel drive, off-road vehicles covered in thick chunks of armor, but I didn't see any real weapons.
ここから地下鉄内を通って埼玉へ抜けられます。入間基地はまだ無事と聞いています。そこまで行けば関東を脱出できるはずです。
Okay, Iruma Base. One of the Air Self-Defense Force's largest bases, located between Iruma and Sayama cities in Saitama Prefecture. It's home to 18 units and around 4,300 personnel, also the location of the Air Defense Command Headquarters Flight Group.
関東脱出。
話は向こうで聞いてください。とにかく急いで。
There were a lot of things I wanted to ask, but even as we spoke, I heard what sounded like gunshots outside the tunnel. Men forced me into the back seat of one of the cars.
それではご無事を祈って。
We've not had a good experience in cars. Every time we get in a car, something bad happens. Someone shoots at us.
自分たちには別の任務がありますので。では。
The 2 soldiers who had brought me here saluted, then turned around and left the station. Felt like I was never going to see them again. The door of the armored car slammed shut with a heavy thud. The car's crew were SDF soldiers, just a little older than me. Yes, we're in like an armored Humvee. The diesel engine kicked to life, and the car raced down a tunnel that had originally been designed for trains. I like trains. Of course, it wasn't a pleasant ride at all, but I didn't have any choice. There's no way I could tell them I wanted to go to Akihabara. I had no way to alter the world line. I had to survive in this hellish world. To survive, I needed to do what they said. Yeah, we've not had a good track record. It's what have our experiences in cars been? Mayuri gets stabbed. We get shot at. A guy rams us with the back of his car. People have just run over Mayuri multiple times with cars. Not while we're in cars, but that I'm counting that as cars. Yeah, I would just stay away from cars. My wants didn't matter at all. I wasn't even allowed to express them. I just did as they told me and ran. Oh yes, Mayuri also got hit by a train. That's right. So we're on a car with train tracks. Like, what can go wrong? Two evils cancel out, right? So only good stuff will happen now. I had no idea that it would take an entire month. Okay, we have to read all of this. 620, anonymous at... Oh gosh, this is going to take a while. I'm also going to temporarily move my face here because it seems like that's better. Anonymous at Security Council, 2010 Christmas, 4:45 p.m. The story so far. The USSR... Okay, so first of all, the USSR still exists in 2010. Starts experimenting with a time machine and America goes apeshit. Give me that time machine, USSR, but I refuse. The Eastern powers and Soviets get cocky. How does it feel to you? How does it feel to you be right now, huh? How does it feel? This brings us to the end of your regularly scheduled Cold War. US, I'ma bomb you from Japan, woo. USSR, then we'll invade Japan. US, oh shit, right now. 621, anonymous at Security Council, same day, what is this? A couple minutes late. 7 seconds later. USSR is kicking ass. Hokkaido and Northeast Japan are screwed. Are they coming for Central Japan now? People in Nagoya, GTFO. Shh. Captain Bajina. Several seconds later. Amateurs who know nothing about strategy need to STFU. STF may look like they're retreating, but they've actually got a defense line at Mount Fuji. They're about to start a counterattack. Anonymous at Security Council. The Mount Fuji line, woo. Who the hell is dumb enough to believe Japanese Imperial High Command, woo. NSCJ. We better not start hearing calls for kamikaze pilots soon. Captain Bajina. Shut up, noob. Idiots like you are the real threat to... Why is there Reddit in the middle of World War III, Cold War? Like, Anonymous. Wait, what the hell happened to the collective right of self-defense? America's only interested in protecting Okinawa. What the hell is the SDF doing getting sent to Siberia? How are they supposed to protect the country? Anonymous. You protected chicken shit. You want to fight? Go volunteer. They say they aren't getting enough recruits. Anonymous. Are they going to start conscription soon, you think? Captain Bajina. What's the point of conscripting a bunch of fat otaku? They just get in the way. War these days requires professional soldiers. I did misread it, only because we had that word up here at some point before. Because we had ape shit, so I'm just in the animal shit phase. But yes, it was chicken hawk. Says the fat otaku who doesn't want to go to war. Anonymous. There are barely any professional soldiers. Thank you, Samus. Gosh dang it, we're at 93 quotes. Our masters in America sent them all around the globe and then stuck them there. You guys will probably be getting your conscription notices soon. Good luck. I'm a chick, so I don't care. Anonymous. In other words, if we get a sex change, we don't have to go, right? Captain Bajina. The real enemies of Japan are its own citizens, huh, asshole? Anonymous. So seriously, are we going to split up like Germany? NSCJ. It's likely. There's a provisional government forming in Okinawa. They're all set to abandon East Japan and just have America protect the West. Those incompetent in the government might honestly do it. Captain Bajina. Is this really the time to trash politicians? Traitorous shill? Anonymous traitor? Shill? Captain Bajina. Strategically, America can't let go of Okinawa. Japan wants to keep some kind of government. That means that making a provisional government in Okinawa is the best option. NSCJ, you bashed the hell out of Okinawa up until now, and now you're telling me this? Captain Bajina, shut up, traitor. NSCJ, so if I'm a traitor, what are you? You're posting on @Chan right now. That means you either fled the country or ran to Okinawa. Anonymous, is this today's you don't get to talk thread? And Samus's is redeemed stretch. Fine, we get to learn what W means. The reason it took a month to get to Okinawa is that we were losing the war. Okay, well, we'll read W in a sec. Okay. Actually, I can read it now. A shortened version of the Japanese word for laughter, or rai. Supposedly it was first used in a non-Japanese online game. By adding a W to the end of a sentence or placing it in the middle, you can indicate that you find the situation humorous. On anonymous internet messages board, adding more W's such as wa can be used to increase the amount of laughter, or I'll have to get the rest after. So www. Is really just a bunch of laughter before a website. So it's basically like... minerinjuries.co.uk. What is that? Minor injuries. Take that, Brits. Okay, there was your stretch. I almost said scold. Okay, I think I can move my face back to that one. Okay. Or indicate that you're mocking an opponent. Examples of sentences including WR, whoa, okay, and I'm getting excited. Using W's in this way is sometimes called making grass grow because of the way it looks. It does kind of look like grass. Supposedly, the plan had been to ferry me by plane to Okinawa once I'd arrived at Iruma Base. Scold you are... Do people want a scold reward? Not reward, channel point redeem? But the constant bombing had slowed us down, so they gave up on the plane and decided I would escape to Kyushu by ground. Yes. There was more than one attack by Soviet spies and assault teams. Some of the SDF soldiers protecting me died. But when I got to Sasebo, I was able to get on a maritime SDF escort ship and managed to escape to Okinawa. Why were they doing all this for me? No matter how many times I asked, no one would answer. Okinawan winter was covered in thick clouds. Come to think of it, I hadn't seen a real break in the clouds for a whole month. I was thinking about that when I was loaded into a van with dark tinted windows that definitely didn't give me ice cream. They'd come to pick me up from the port. Inside the car was not only the driver, but a middle-aged man sitting in the front passenger seat. He was very short, perhaps only around 150 centimeters tall. But he had the air of a military veteran, and even though he was fully dressed, I could tell he was extremely muscular. I mean, Ministry of Defense, one of the central ministries of Japan, manages and operates the Self-Defense Force. In 2007, it changed its name from the Defense Agency to the Ministry of Defense.
これから空港に寄り道してから彼らの沖縄防衛局へ向かう。長旅で疲れているところ申し訳ないが、もうしばらく我慢してくれ。
Okinawa Defense Bureau, one of the 8 local defense bureaus of Japan. It is the center of Japan's Ministry of Defense in Okinawa. Makes sense.
Hi.
I'd heard that Tokyo had been destroyed. Major functions of the Japanese government were now headquartered out of the Okinawa Defense Bureau to allow for better cooperation with the American forces stationed nearby. That's what Shimoyama explained to me. In other words, the place I was heading to was the core of Japan's defenses. Once I arrived, would I understand why I was so important that all those soldiers were willing to die to protect me? Cheap candy, never the good stuff. That's why, like, during Halloween, the kids find which house gives out the full-size candy bars. And I knew people who would have, like, 5 or 6 different costumes and would change and, like, find good streets where, like, a couple houses did full-size candy bars and just redo that street 5 or 6 times. Car stopped in front of Naha Airport for a while. Oh, let's look at that. An airport in Naha. Who would have guessed? Okinawa. It is the hub airport of the Okinawa area. The airport is also home to the Air Self-Defense Force's Naha Air Base. As of 2009, it was the 6th busiest airport in Japan as measured by the number of arriving travelers. It's basically the same reason there's a GPU shortage. Yes, I'm a different person with a different credit card. Let me buy 2 more of these GTX GPUs. Then I saw a surprising pair get aboard. I wasn't expecting to see them here. They were the first people I knew who I'd met since coming to this world line. That alone was almost enough to make me cry. Still, I couldn't just sit there and be happy. Yuki nodded, as if trying to make me feel better. 1 computer card, please.
そうなんですよ。マユシーでしょ。ルミホちゃんでしょ。ルカ君、楓ちゃん。今朝空港に着いて、みんな 防衛局というところで保護してもらえるというので待っていたんですが、さっき急に私と吹雪ちゃんだけ先に連れて行くと言われて、それでこの車に乗せられたらオカリンさんがいたってわけ。
とにかくみんなが無事でよかった。
Since Daru and Suzuha weren't mentioned, I was going to ask about them,
すまな
but
いが積もる話は後にしてもらっていいだろうか。
Shimoyama cut me off, and the car started moving.
沖縄防衛局
You're giving him a pie as you're not even the 0W?
すでに我々の方で保護はしている。
Yeah, I have not touched a Raspberry Pi in about 7 years at this point. I'm sure there's much newer models than the ones I toyed with.
本当ですか？よかった。
別行動になったお友達の皆さんもすぐ後ろの車に乗っている。離れ離れになるわけではないから安心していい。
I took a quick look and saw another identical van a little behind us. Mayuri and the others were there. Call that van blows up soon.
後でまた会えるんですね。
もちろんだ。
Yuki let out a sigh of relief. But then I started to wonder about something else. Why were we split into different cars? This van could hold at least another 3 people. If we squeezed it tight, it could easily hold everyone. Or was there some reason they'd put me, Yuki, and Fubuki into the same car? The car drove alongside the Okinawa monorail for a while, and then went down a wide bypass. The only railway operating in Okinawa as of 2011, it runs approximately 13 kilometers between Naha Airport and Shuri Castle, with a 30-minute transit time and 15 stations along the way.
暗いな。
Ah yes, the monorail in Okinawa. Okinawa's monorail. The monorail built specifically for Okinawa.
何です？
いや、こんなに店が並んでるのにどこも真っ暗だから。
There were lots of franchise restaurants, big supermarkets, cafeterias for tourists, and rent-a-car places all jammed together along the side of the road. But all of them were dead silent and their lights were turned off. Barely any of the street lights were turned on, and the only cars were Japanese and US military vehicles. I didn't see anyone out walking. By franchise restaurants, I think they mean chain restaurants. Think McDonald's, Burger King, Harvey's. That's my guess, because as someone who wants to run one, you can purchase franchise rights to open your store. That's my guess, at least. But hey, they choose to define what they define.
沖縄なら安全とは言ってもね、戦時下なんだよ。以前のようにはいかない。
Yep, fair enough. But yeah, I agree. The stuff they define and the stuff they don't define, it's like, huh, obscure scientific term. Nope. Monorail. Yes.
早く戦争など終わって元に戻ってほしいものだ。
Wartime, huh?
君の知っている沖縄は夜遅くまでもっと明るくて楽しい場所だったろ？
あ、どうでしょう。俺は沖縄は初めてなので。
I think rail means rail, and mono is the disease, so a monorail is a diseased train.
それはもったいないな。なら次は楽しい旅行で来られることを祈っているよ。ここは本当にいい島だ。
The car headed up from the bypass over a land bridge, then to another road. We quickly came to a long
実
tunnel.
は3人に防衛局に着く前に少しだけ質問をしたくてな。それでこうして同情してもらった。
What's the cure for a diseased train? Can't think of anything funny to say to that. My guess was right. That meant there was something he wanted to ask just the three of us. But why us three? I wasn't particularly close to Yuki or Fubuki. Hello, Irish. How are you? There is your hydrate. I'd only even started talking to them a few months ago, and then I shook my head. That was before the world line changed. Maybe things were different in this world line. I had no idea what my relationship was to anyone else in this world line. The cure for a diseased train is, you can't figure it out. It's just like her. It's a tsundere laptop. Yes, Deadbeard did want you here for something, and I can't remember what it was. Oh yes, there was a tentacle signal. Since the STF had been treating me so well, I didn't want to make Shimoyama suspicious. I decided it would be best to leave most of the talking to Yuki and Fubuki. We've had some good spot-on quotes. Shimoyama spoke to Yuki first. Yuki went stiff when her name was called. I could feel it even sitting next to her. The reason we wanted Irish was because Chaos wouldn't stop screaming. Damn it, Deadbeard, I'm trying to come up with a porn version of the Lorax now. Little sister. That must be Suzuha. That would mean that even in this world line, Suzuha had come to the future and gotten to know Yuki and the others while pretending to... We found a typo. Suzuha had come to the future, pretending to be Suzuha's sister. She's pretending to be her own sister. They meant Daru's. Suzuha is her own sister. I was reading a thing the other day, and someone had, like, made a post. This was on Tumblr. And it was just, so one day my sister's dad, and they were like, what do you mean your sister's dad? That's just your own dad. Like, what are you talking about? Hello, small plant. How's it going? The STF evidently didn't know where Daru and Suzuha were. He fell silent and glanced over to me as if expecting help. I didn't know where they were either. I didn't even have any memories of this world line, so I had no way of answering. Deadbeard is his own sister? And Deadbeard is his own sister, TP. Yuki's attitude bothered me. It was as if she knew where they were and was deliberately hiding it, and that I was supposed to be hiding it too. I could figure that out. I'm sure Shimoyama could too. A strange tension filled the car. Yuki was trying to hide it. From whom? Do we bring up the step-sibling debacle? See, the problem is they aren't siblings. Suzuha is Daru's daughter from the future, but to make things simple, she's just pretending to be his sister. If your step-sibling hits on you, just look them in the eyes and say, yeah, look at that skin move. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Shimoyama turned around from the front passenger seat and asked again. Dang it, Deadbeard. The quotes? Yeah, we've had some extra cursed quotes tonight. Yuki bowed her head in apology. To cure a diseased rail? We'll never know. If I had my cell phone, I could prove you wrong, but I don't have that. What did you walk into? If you mean chat, I have no idea. If you mean the game, we don't really have any idea either. We were having a nice Christmas party. and now suddenly we're in World War III, where the Soviet Union exists again and is invading Japan, because the US was like, we're gonna launch nukes at Russia, or at the Soviet Union from Japan, and Russia's like, not if I invade Japan first. Dang it, Samus, we all just lost the game. I wasn't sure how to react when the conversation suddenly turned towards me. Basically, this sums it up. Stop looking at my eyes so you can start looking at my balls. If I panic, I'll make them suspicious. But Samus, I didn't lose the game until you said you lost the game. I would just have to give him the most harmless answers I could.
研究というより、なんていうか、ちょっとした発明のアイデアというか。
発明？
竹とんぼに CCD カメラをつけて空撮ができないかとか。
CCD, a charge couple device. Camera is a camera that uses semiconductors. In normal parlance, the term refers to any extremely small camera.
掃除機の排気をドライヤー代わりにしてみる。
Oh, Chaos. There we go. Gosh dang it, Chaos. You did it again.
ほう、なかなか面白いね。それじゃ何かとんでもないものを作っていて、それを知られないために我々から逃げたというわけではないんだね。
逃げた?
Oh, yeah, we just keep blaming Chaos. Sounds good. Damn, I responded. That was a mistake. Does that mean that Dara and Suzuha were hiding from the STF amidst all this chaos? Probably. Samus is probably. The STF had risked their lives to protect me over the past month. Can we blame others? Yeah, you can blame MDS. There you go. It doesn't quite work the same. Shouldn't I be asking them for help? I got even more confused. Somebody please tell me what the right answer is. How am I supposed to respond here? There's no Popeye. There is the Obi-Wan command. I think it's just Deadbeard. Daddy Snackbeard's is the one. Sorry. If you just do command, is it command or commands? Whichever one it is, it'll list them all. I think it's Snackbeard with a K. Let me find all the commands. I think it's commands. There we go. There's Daddy Snackbeard. This time it was Fubuki's turn to jump up in her seat. Kenobi is the most useless command because it's just a link back to this channel. Like, it's totally there as a joke. Oh, did those finally run out? Have they been unused so long that TinyURL deleted them? Or so Shimoyama said, but Fubuki was clearly starting to get scared. The reaction was strange. I completely missed what they were talking about because I was reading chat. Oh, he hasn't said anything. Oh, your command? Maybe the self-defense forces weren't simply protecting us. For one thing, there was no way normal civilians like us merited such important treatment. Uncle? Where's the uncle? Two uncles and... What the heck is that emote? There's an uncle emote? What? But then, what were they after? No, I could guess. The time machine. Emperor Evil Man Dark Sideger. This war started with Russia's time machine experiments, and of course Nakabachi was involved. I'd learned from some of the soldiers that even in this world line he'd sought asylum in Russia. And Suzuha was a time traveler from the year 2036. If Suzuha was here in this era, that meant that it was Daru who made the time machine that brought her here. If you had a time machine, you could change the outcome of this war. It would make sense if that's what the Japanese government thought. If that's why they were trying to capture Daru, Suzuha, and their friends. I don't know. Like, did someone gift Nightbot Uncle? Like I don't understand. Once I realized that, the whole situation started to feel terrifying to me. Was this car really headed toward the Okinawa Defense Bureau? If it was, were they really going to keep us safe there? Yes. Gosh, someone has gifted Nightbot Uncle from the channel Uncle. Wonderful. You're being kidnapped? What is going on, hero? Nightbot is a tier 1 sub to Uncle.
何か悪いところでも見つかったんですか？
いや、東京で怪我をした傷も治りかけているし、体調には問題はない。ただ、ストレスがひどいようだね。まあ無理もない。あれだけひどい空襲をくぐり抜けてきた。
Dang it, Samuses, don't give a sub to Nightbot.
PTSD があると言ってもいい。
Chaos wants to lock you in the dungeon?
ただ君の場合、他の人とは少し違うようだ。
Nightbot is on a 2-month streak? Nightbot shouldn't be subbed.
随分とリアルな夢を見たりするとか。ひどい時には白チュームというのかな。現実と夢の区別がつかなくなることもあると聞いた。
だからそれが PTSD ってことじゃないんですか？
Ibuki was too scared to speak, so Yuki interrupted curtly. There's like some global bots I think should just be subbed to everyone. Like, not because people gift them, they should just like have an automatic sub. You don't need to, Samuses. It was rare to see Yuki act like this. Nothing else had never seen it before. It was plain now. Yuki didn't trust Shimoyama. In fact, she considered him an enemy.
それが実に奇妙な話なんだが。
If that's the case, that would be good. There's a few things like that where I feel like yeah, a bot sub would be good. Make it to partner. We're a long way off of that, Samuses. Shimoyama paused a moment for effect and rubbed his chin.
中瀬さんと非常によく似た白チュームを見る人たちがいる。しかも一人や二人じゃない。もちろん程度の差はあるが、国内だけでも
You didn't have keycaps in your keyboard for a month?
どうやら海外にもいるようだ。まあ、西側諸国の情報しかないがね。
そんなのただの偶然じゃ。
Ibuki was incredibly frightened. I spoke in her place.
知っているだろう。
Popeye for partner 2021? I don't think that's gonna happen, Samus says. Puchin. Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin. From 2000 to 2008, he was the second president of Russia. After 2008, he became its prime minister, a former KGB agent. Vladimir Putin. Suddenly, Shimoyama turned his gaze towards me and asked me a question.
プーシン
Actually, what question does he ask us? Let's see. He's just gonna ask us if it's okay to have our teacher flash all these guys.
ソ連の書記長ですよね
I almost said the president of Russia, but I managed to stop myself. Samus is banned Putin. The Soviet Union still existed in this world line. Putin's title was General Secretary, not President. I'd heard that during my time at Uruma.
そうだが中瀬さんは
Teacher
興味
dismissed
深い
too.
プーシンがロシアの大統領だと答えたとか
What?
すみません。なんか寝ぼけてたんです。それに私、勉強とか全然ダメで。
いやそうじゃない白チュームを見る人たちの特徴の一つなんだ皆一様にそう口にするプーシン大統領とねゴリバチョフやレリツィンのことも大統領と呼ぶものばかりだ
Yeltsin. Boris Nikolaevich Yeltsin, a former USSR politician. After the fall of the Soviet Union, he became the first president of the Russian Federation, as well as its prime minister. Died in 2007. Real talk, the only reason you need caps keys so you can mess with that special someone and say, they have a fish rug. I love that. That's adorable. I'm gonna hate it when it gets covered in murder blood. I have not seen that quote either. I mean, like, I haven't seen it come up. Like, I guess I've seen it at some point because I said it. Gorbachev. Mikhail Sergeyevich Gorbachev, General Secretary of the Soviet Communist Party, the last leader of the USSR. He executed the Perestroika plan and brought the Cold War to an end. I think it has to be you, Samus's. No way. You talking about reading Steiner? There's a strong chance that people besides me had that power, even if not as acutely. I'd never found out for sure, but what Ferris had said in the Alpha World line certainly suggested it. It was certainly possible that Shimoyama's waking dreams were actually the effects of reading Steiner. They were all aware of the world line shift a month ago, just like me. If Ibuki had the same memories of the other world line that I had, it would make perfect sense that she called Putin a president.
Gorbachev? Leritsin?
知らないのかね世界史の授業でやっただろ
私、高校時代からずっと理系だったもので
常識だと思っていたが今の若い子は知らないのか最近の学生がここまで不勉強とはね岡部君は知っているだろうゴリバチョフやレリツィンくらい
ええまあ
Should get to bed before something bad happens. Yeah, take care, Samuses. Mike, yeah. Have a good night. Apparently we're just learning a bunch about the world. Perestroika, Russian for restructuring, a policy of economic revolution via the introduction of market-oriented economics that was implemented in 1985 by the Soviet Union. Originally, it was an attempt to reboot a stalled socialist economy, but it led to the end of the Communist Party's one-party dominance and the collapse of the USSR. Berlin Wall. After World War II, the capital of Germany, Berlin, was divided into two sides. The eastern side was controlled by the Soviet Union, and the western by America, England, and France. Later, Germany would split into West Germany and East Germany. The portion of Berlin in East Germany remained its capital, but West Berlin remained occupied by the Allied powers, while being cut off from the rest of West Germany, which lay approximately 100 miles to the west. In 1961, East Germany built a wall around the city in response to continuing attempts by its citizens to seek asylum in West Berlin. This was the Berlin Wall. Until its destruction in 1989, it was a symbol of the divide between East and West Germany. Additionally, West Berlin was never officially West German territory. They simply operated as a stand-in for foreign affairs and currency administration.
はい。それも教科書で。
A second after the words were out of my mouth, an alarm went off in my mind. Something was wrong. There was something strange about what Shimoyama was saying. And then I realized, the East and West were still caught up in the middle of a world war. How could the Berlin Wall have fallen? Could Gorbachev really execute perestroika? By the time I realized he tricked me, it was too late. A panic appeared on my face.
君もそうだったのか。そしてそれを恋に隠そうとしたね。やはり情報通りなんだな。君は何か重大なことを知っている。なあ、岡部君、教えてほしいんだが。
Shimoyama suddenly laughed. It was a bitter laugh, almost eerily so.
ゴリバチョフ、レリツィ、君たちが口にするそれは一体誰なんだ。我々はもちろんアメリカのあらゆる情報機関にもそんな人物のデータは存在しないんだ。
Doesn't exist? I looked over at Yuki. From the look on her face, I could tell she really had no idea who they were.
ペレストロイカだの、ベルリンの壁崩壊だの、それは本当にあったことなのか。答えてくれ。
But I couldn't answer. I was thinking of something completely different. I suddenly realized why the world line might have changed a month ago on Christmas Eve. What if Russia used the time machine that day in an experiment to change the past? The goal of the experiment would have been to stop the collapse of the Soviet Union. If the result of them changing the past was this world line, how foolish. A single change to the past and the butterfly effect makes the entire world so different. Butterfly effect, part of chaos theory. Dang it, chaos in your theories. That says if a butterfly flaps its wings in Beijing, a storm will occur in New York. Even a small change in starting conditions can lead to radically different results. Chaos theory states that it can be difficult to predict the outcomes of a system, even if the equations describing it are extremely simple. But this does not mean, however, that the outcomes are random. It means that even a minor change in the process can cause an unexpected divergence in the results. Also, this theory does not apply to short-term predictions. Did they know how many people had died? Chaos isn't allowed theories. He's about to push me further when... My phone! No, I don't have a phone still. I heard the sound of an incoming call on a cell phone. Or duct tape. Shimoyama grunted and took his phone out of his pocket. Shimoyama's fingers slammed down on the end call button so hard I thought the phone would break. There was a look of rage on his face. Kadena Air Base, an American Air Force base in Japan. It has twice the area of Tokyo International Airport. His words were filled with irritation as he spoke to the driver. Changing destinations? Who was he just talking to? As I sat there confused, Shimoyama started to call someone else. That was all he said before he hung up.
どういうことですか？
状況が変わった。これから岡部君は米軍基地に行ってもらう。そのまま米軍機でアメリカ行き、なんていう楽しい旅行が待っているかもしれんな。
America?
せめてファーストクラスを準備するよう要求しておくが、期待はしないでほしい。あいつらは我々の言うことなど、飼い犬の吠え声としか思ってない。
なんでアメリカに？
CIA か NSC か知らんが、君の即時引き渡しを求めているそうだ。
NSC, the American National Security Council, an organization that works directly for the White House and advises the President on national security matters. It consists of the President, the Vice President, the Secretary of State, the Secretary of the Treasury, and the Secretary of Defense. The Secretary of Treasury is just there to be like, this costs too much money, don't do it. And then they do it anyways.
だからなぜ？
そんなことはあいつらに直接聞け。
Then he turned back towards the front and fell silent, refusing to answer any of my questions. The car went down the road for a while until we got off at an exit that read South Okinawa. We stopped in front of the gate. And speaking of stopping, I think that's a good place to stop the stream for tonight.